true. It's true.
You already know what time it is. You already know what time it is. You gotta get it back, man. We back like we never. We back like we never left.
It's true talk.
We
So
back. It's
let's
been a
get
long
straight
time.
right into it.
You already know what time it is. It's been a long time coming. We back. We ready. You already know the season is. By the time you see this, the season will be this evening on Tuesday. You know what I'm saying? But we recorded the day before. But you already know we back. Christmas is approaching. The season's back. Teams, people are healthy. There's a lot of things going on. Off season has happened. There's so much that we're gonna try and cover as much as we can. You already know. You already know it's Banks. We got my boy Daniel returning, and then we got the man on the far left, my younger brother.
Gold.
Waste man. You see, he's trying to copy me. You see my looks, everything. He's trying to copy me, but he's my son. At the end of the day.
But he looks better than you.
Sometimes the sun overtakes.
Sometimes
the sun does not overtake. When I'm on my prime,
the sun rises.
Exactly.
The sun rises.
Well, what happens when it's nighttime? He goes back to bed. As long as you know, I'm here when it matters. You already know. Anyway, so that's my little brother. He's back. You already know. Trills, T-Trills, you already know. And so we fully here. We got wife on the mic. Say hello to them. What up? What up? What up? What up? You already know. That's what's up. So we back. Anyways, it's been a long time coming. You already know. I know people be like, yo, where's the pod? Where's the pod, fam? Where's the pod, fam? I know. I got you. Don't worry, man. It's been Corona, it's been COVID, all this type of stuff. So, we just take a precaution.
It's been Corona, it's been COVID.
That row.
It's been everything. Whatever you want to call it. Whatever you want to call it. That's Seawalk. You feel me? It's whatever you want to call it. That's what we have to take precautions. You already know. But we back here. You already know. We out here. There's no doubt here, and there's no drought. You already know.
Yes, feel me.
All right, so let's go straight right into it. So the first thing we're gonna talk about, obviously, because you already know, is Raptors. I know y'all been following me. I've been trying to do a 1-2 vids when I can. You already know with everything, but we're going to talk about the Raptors with everything that they've been doing with this offseason. Their first game they play, I'm pretty sure, is Wednesday, like always. You already know. And just a lot of things have happened. They lost Ibaka. They lost Gasol. They lost Giannis. they kept Van Fleet, which is good. Malachi Flynn. Anyway, we know the picture. Anyways, this whole Giannis 2020. That's the next thing. Anyways, we're gonna talk about Toronto. We're gonna talk about what we think of the offseason in general. So the moves that they made and the moves they didn't make. The moves that they made, they re-signed Van Vliet. We'll talk about that. Grade? Yeah, we'll give them a grade. But I'm just gonna talk about everything. I'm just gonna put it out there so they know, because some people live under a rock. You already know. So they signed Van Vliet. You re-signed, got the bag, right? Then they also re-signed Boucher, right? But then they lost Gasol. They lost Ibaka. And they got Aaron Baines and Alex Lyon and Bembry off.
Fish.
All right, and they lost Ronde, but whatever. Those are the big moves they made, and we already know who they didn't get. Christian Wood, whatever. But that's their offseason. Context, their offseason is like that because they were trying to get Giannis. Giannis wasn't taking it, right? So that's context. But what do we think of basically what happened? What transpired? What do we think? What is your guys' grades? They already know about mine because I've been talking about it, but give us your perspective, both of you.
F-. This is a complete disaster and utter fail, yo. Like, I don't think people understand, right? First of all, when we had Kawhi, that was our pinnacle. You see what I'm saying? That was the greatest I've ever seen the Raptors. Mm-hmm. I never even knew the Raptors could reach that type of ceiling. Honestly. That's the first day I truly believed that the NBA wasn't rigged, because I said there's no way that they would have let the Raptors win. You see what I'm saying?
I never thought I'd see it in a lifetime. So
like, yo, we have to understand, right? The Raptors' DNA is off of grit and defense, right? There's no iron team, right? Everybody plays hard. Everybody plays defense. And that can bring you very far, right? That can bring you to the playoffs every single year. If you have a team, even if the team doesn't have that much talent, but if you all play hungry with grit and you play with severe defense, you are going to be a playoff team. You see what I'm saying? Because there's too many teams in the league that don't play defense at all, and they don't play as one. at all. The problem is we have no talent.
They're gonna feel disrespected.
They're gonna crucify you.
Lowry, Van Vliet, Pascal.
Not only do we have no talent, but we lost two of our best defensive players in terms of the paint, in Ibaka and Gasol, which means that our whole paint is exposed.
Open.
You see what I'm saying?
Names though.
Come on now. Aaron, I don't have nothing against you, Aaron.
You got dunked on by John Morant. What protection are you bringing?
Come on, bro. Honestly, and this is what I keep saying, and I say this off camera all the time, right? For the Raptors, you're in a destination nobody wants to go to, right? Mm-hmm. You can't do the off season the way other teams do the off season, right? Yeah. Other teams wait for free agency because they know that there's a possibility players are going to want to come there. Mm-hmm. The Raptors, you should know, nobody wants to come here. Mm-hmm. That is just a fact.
You're not a destination.
Okay? They live in the States. They don't want to come live in Canada. They just don't.
Cold taxes.
Kawhi is the perfect example.
All that.
Right. The man left.
The man
they don't want to.
Ring and then he said, you know what? It's not for me.
So I don't understand. Why wouldn't you take the under the radar players? Why wouldn't you? You know how long I've been saying that the Raptors need to make a move on John Wall? From the instant that I heard of, you remember I used to say that all the time, right? Yeah. People didn't believe me. I was like, trust me. There's a friction between John Wall and between Bradley Beal. If the Raptors wanted to make a move on John Wall, they can make a move on him. Mm-hmm. Especially when people are low on his stock. I told them to make a move on Boogie Cousins. They're low on his stock. Mm-hmm. I told them to make a move on guys like Michael Beasley. Do you see what I'm saying? There's guys that are actually disgustingly nice, but nobody gives them a chance. The Raptors need to look for those guys. We have to be the diamond in the rough team.
That was my approach the whole time that I've been trying to tell them. What do you think? What's your grade?
I agree with the F. It's horrible. Just the way that they're approaching the trades is they're not finding the right key players. If you lose someone like Ibaka and you lose someone like Gasol, you need to go find someone that can replace them properly. You're not going to go out there and get Alex Len. Honestly, for anyone that's watching the podcast, if you know who Alex Len is, like the video right now. Because nobody knows Alex Len. Nobody.
But the devil's advocate to that is that they're going to say the reason why they're getting all these... Why invest money on a mid guy when you have bare money for free agency next year, so you just sign them to pinch deals?
Nobody's coming here.
Exactly.
See, that's the disconnect between the fans and the actual reality with the actual basketball IQ people with Toronto. That's what they hate on me for, because it's like, no, the Raptors are doing this. They always have this same thing with the Pascal. No, it's this. All this hope, belief, and this. Then when it doesn't happen, it's, oh, you were right.
Spicy
my fault. But you gotta have a hope. But you gotta understand, we have so much ample evidence of, the fact that Kawhi won a championship and left.
But also,
I'm
mad on the side for that.
But hold on, he didn't just leave. That's what I'm about to bring up. He didn't just leave. And I remember they were all roasting me saying, yo, what do you mean he just wanted to be in LA? That's why he left. It just came out now that he actually only left and only signed because Paul George was going there. Paul George wasn't going there. He wasn't going there.
I heard.
So we already know. So he just not left you. He actually said, I'm not just going to leave. I'm going to force something reckless to happen so I can leave. So he actually went harder to even leave.
Oh my goodness. Hold on. Is it true? That, Kawhi said that if they made a trade for Westbrook,
yes,
and
that's what he.
Dog, I would have emptied the whole team. I would have emptied the whole team. I would have emptied everybody's family. Listen, get out. All of you get. Listen, if we had Westbrook and Paul George and Kawhi on our team, we would have been a repeat. But you guys don't understand. But what you guys have to understand is, listen, when you have a star, this is the NBA. Okay? The NBA is about what stars that you actually have. Mm-hmm. If you're talking about winning rings, okay? You can't... The last time I seen a team win that didn't have a real star was the Detroit Pistons. Each one of them is all-stars. Exactly. They're all legit all-stars. Mm-hmm. Right? So even to get a team of 5 legit all-stars is next to impossible. Right? So that can take compensation for not having a star. But the Raptors not ever having a star Like, you can't do it, bro. As much as I love Kyle Lowry, and I don't want to lose Kyle Lowry. No Raptors fan wants to lose Kyle Lowry. Like, you know what I mean? He's the heart and the soul of our team.
Obviously.
But if I have a chance to get Westbrook and Paul George,
bye.
dog, I'm sorry, Kyle. Kyle, you would make that trade.
For yourself.
And this is what people don't understand. That's why Kawhi, that's what I was saying on my videos, Kawhi was such a genius, because what he was doing was, he knows the only places I'm either staying with the Raptors, I just want to ring here, or I'm going to go to the Clippers. I'm not going with Bron. Once LeBron got 80 and whatever, Lakers, I'm not doing that. You know him. He's not trying to just get an easy ring. He's not trying to do that, or else he would have just got his 1-2 easy rings playing. He literally didn't play on injured legs because the whole thing about him is, I want a long career and I want to be elite at a high level in the long career. He said that on ESPN after he won the ring with Raptors. So he's strategically moving like that. So he literally told OKC, yo, I'm not going to, or he told the Clippers, I'm not going to here unless you get Paul George. Told Raptors, I'm not coming here till you get Paul George. So obviously now OKC knows you have to trade to either Raptors or Clippers.
Yeah, but they were
so
saying...
now whoever got them, he was going to go. But Masai denied the trade, which is why now OKC got that.
But you heard what they were saying, right?
Mm.
How Kawhi's uncle or whatever is asking for like mansion, boat, helicopter, all that extra stuff. And they're saying like...
Yeah, that's
on the Raps?
Listen.
No, for the Clippers. But that's just side, that's side things.
If y'all think that these guys go to teams without these little underhanded
that's
deals,
it's normal.
Wake up!
It's just because Kawhi didn't go with LeBron, so they're trying to expose him. What does LeBron ask for? His whole, bruh, come on now. Are we serious?
You have no idea what types of... I even heard that back in the day when Jordan signed with the Wizards, it was under the pretense that eventually the team would actually end up getting given to him for him to buy.
Yeah.
You guys heard that rumor? That rumor, 100%.
Right? That's how they do
those types of agreements in terms of a contract are technically not supposed to happen, but we all know at the end of the day, stuff like that ends up happening regardless.
Because the power that these players hold is too high.
They should have done whatever needed to be done to keep Kawhi. If they lost Kawhi, the best thing to do is to look for these low-key guys. You see what I'm saying? But the problem is that the Raptors have a bad history looking for low-key guys, and the low-key guys are actually scrubs. You see what I'm saying? Like, we went and we had Andrea Bargnani.
Who was 2 years old.
Bro, that was the worst.
Primo pasta
and sauce.
And it's like I don't understand what you see.
Yes,
but there's... Anyways, man, I don't even know, man.
I just think nobody, like, it's like when people think of Canada, they think of like Game of Thrones, Winter is Coming. Like nobody finds Canada appealing. Like unless we empty our clip, like Daniel said, nobody's coming. Like nobody.
And even if we empty our clip, that should tell you. Once the fact that your own champion left you,
they're not coming.
That sets a pretense. That even sets exactly. That sets. It's like an example. It's setting for the rest of the players. Like if your Kawhi stayed, then maybe future can attract. But if your main guy left you, that's like LeBron leaving Cleveland and expecting people to go to Cleveland. Yeah, that doesn't happen. And Cleveland's not even Toronto. At least it's not like, you know what I mean. Like Toronto's already like these guys are states-born players. So you know what I'm saying. Like there's so many things. Like Kawhi was offered Kawhi and dime. He was offered the key to the city. He still denied it.
And when
free food
when
everywhere.
Players come here. It's not business. Like we don't invest. Canada doesn't invest in businesses like that. There's no promo like LA.
It's not the same. That's why to think Giannis would actually leave Milwaukee for Toronto. I'm gonna stay in Milwaukee for what? Exactly.
And what's worse is, and this is why we can't wait for free agency, because people are acting like COVID does not exist. The hoops and the hurdles that you have to get through to cross the border. This is the reason why aren't the Raptors games being played in Tampa Bay now?
Exactly. That's
so nobody is going to want to have to deal with that every single week.
And COVID aside, even I think Stephen A. had mentioned previously,
they hate customs. Exactly.
The hassle
they hate it. So
they only come here for Kara what?
NBA game. All right, so we know that. So basically we all have the same, they basically suss this off season. Obviously, the logic for them was...
What is the grade that you gave? You didn't say the grade.
Oh, because I talked about it. Well, my grade, it's basically the same grade. I didn't give it an F. I gave it maybe a D plus, C minus. The only reason I gave it that was because there's a lot of people in free... I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt of free agency. Like, we haven't seen 2021 free agency happened. So if 2021 free agency happens, that's the only reason why I didn't give it as low as a grade, because if 2020 free agency happens, let's say Kawhi comes back or something happens, then now exactly it's not final. I can only give you a grade.
But let me ask you a question though, Leke. When was the last time you seen a contender fall out of being a contender so far and so wide in the span of 1 year?
That was my other point.
Isn't that a fail in and of itself?
That's my other point. My point is what their logic is. Their logic is, you know what? We're going to actually suss this season. Not terribly sus, but we know we might drop off a little bit, especially with everybody elevating. We might drop off a little bit, but we are going to sacrifice all these contracts, right? Giving Fugazi contracts in hopes of not being locked in so we can actually be in play for next year for all the big fish. But the problem is that that's out of context. You could do two things at once, right? My logic was thinking, not invest totally on like bare big names, like trading for John Wall, whatever, because you're locked in. John Wall's a big hefty contract for 2 years. But you maybe like Christian Wood, you get a 1-2 guys, right? Obviously with, salary cap and all these different things. You could finesse it in a way that you could promise it, maybe even a shorter term deal, and then maybe the third year we give you big pay or whatever. You can finesse it in a way, but actually go for him where that only is a lower tier guy you kind of somewhat lock in, but then in hopes to Kyle Lowry's off the books, all these other guys are off the books, that now next year you can still get at least only one big name, not just not sign anybody at all and hope for like 3 big names and hope for the whole fish.
But usually big names don't come unless there's already a big name there.
That's what I'm saying. But I was saying if you at least, the only way they do, like for instance, like the Nets didn't have big names. And KD and Kyrie went there. But the good thing, I know, but the good thing for it is New York, but also the good thing was, that's the difference between the Knicks and the Nets. The Nets actually were building. They actually were a 6th seed. They were increasing. The Raptors increased, and then now you decrease, but then you want to help to bring the next guy to increase.
You're also not in a marquee city, though.
Exactly. You're supposed to basically be the exact. Literally, my goal for the Raptors was you sign Christian Wood, right, to replace Ibaka and Gasol. You sign a 1-2 guys, maybe like a Cousins, whatever. Lower tier guys was like, financially, you're not locked in, right? It's guys who need to redeem themselves or have to build a name, so they're not big tier guys, right? Then you win with them. They're hungry. You win with them, or you're in the same position. Let's say a second round again, you lose game 7, right? Or you just lose in the second round. Same position. That's going to elevate you now, that's going to bring attractability, because you're not going to bring attractability from your city. You're supposed to bring it from the roster, situation, winning, and then now you go get, Kawhi don't come, Giannis, whatever. But now you're going to drop off, and then now you have Paul George resign, you have Giannis resign, right? Rudy Gobert resign, all these guys get in bags. You think Kawhi's just going to go? I'm just saying, the guys who they were looking for, this is the big names.
Yeah.
Half of them are getting off the books, resigning, because it's like, I'm in a winning situation, I'm not going to leave.
Yeah.
So I'm going to leave for a winning situation for a losing or a lower tier situation. Like, it doesn't work like that. So that's for me is an F right now.
As a matter of fact, I guess I might bump my grade up to a D-, just because at least we didn't pick up Gordon Hayward.
Yeah, exactly. You could sus.
And just
that's why I'm like, okay, at least you did that.
A big name that's overrated.
Completely destroy us. Exactly. Somebody who's just.
But that's what they normally do.
Overrated.
And
like
that's
exactly
Turkoglu. Remember Turkoglu after his prime. Hakeem Olajuwon after his prime. All these guys. Sean Marion. Like, I can list how many bare elite guys, but we get them too late. And that's why I thought with Kawhi, when we got Kawhi, I'm like, is this one of those? He just came off an injury. Is he never is this one of those?
You have to take risks like that.
I know, but I was okay with that because regardless, once I saw the picture of him and LeBron and them, I'm like, okay, he's good. He's working out.
How do y'all feel about Van Vliet signing the 4-year 85 and now OG?
OG's got an extension today. He got a 4-year, 72 mil, something like that?
Something around there, yeah.
The Van Vliet signing, to be honest with you, as much as Van Vliet is actually my favorite Raptor, I think we might have overpaid him a bit, to be real with you. Because to be honest, the way that we're paying him almost for loyalty, because we don't want you to leave, not because this is what you're actually worth. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't know how many teams would be willing to pay Van Vliet the same amount, especially considering the fact that we have Kyle Lowry. You see what I'm saying? But at the same time, I'm not mad at it because Van Vliet, he does more than just play. You see what I'm saying? He means something more in terms of what he brings to the culture, the attitude, right? So for that, if I was in the room, I'd be like, well, let's look at our options first before we come to give him that figure. You see what I'm saying?
I get what Daniel's saying. I think too that's also the weakness of the Raptors and Masai. They treat these players like their family, and so loyalty sometimes blinds some of the decisions. I'm not mad, but you can see again the constant trend and pattern of not being willing to let go of some of these guys to get better players.
That's why I said Messiah he's locked in with these African men. I'm telling you, the way he's scouting, he's always scouting the African. Why do we still have Pascal Siakam?
No, that's it. Hold on, we'll talk about that. But my thing with Van Fleet, I disagree with you guys with Van Fleet. For me, like I can separate. Like I'm looking at, if anything, I'm looking at it for Van Fleet. Everything's a positive. So I'm looking at Van Fleet is in a situation where he's not the one, he's not the two, or he's supposed to be the third best guy, right? And he's elevated to being even more than that. Lowry and Pascal are always the two starters. Van Fleet's never been a starter, but yet it's averaged almost 20. He's averaging almost 20 in a usage shares role. So what could he be if Lowry leaves next year and he's now your starting point guard? If anything, Van Fleet's the blueprint we should be following. Through the draft, through under the draft. You're not going to get a free agent point guard. So I might as well solidify a guy who's at least average to better, point guard and solidify him for the future, as opposed to letting him go and then Lowry now goes and then now what are we doing with point guards? No big name for point guards coming here.
I hear you.
So if anything, Van Fleet follows the role for like how the Raptors are supposed to go. It's the same type of thing with Pascal. With Pascal, they're trying to make him be more than what he is. Van Fleet is actually they're paying him for what he is. And they're thinking maybe he could be more when these guys leave. Imagine he's actually taking in what point guard, like other than like CJ and Dame, like he's a true point guard. Van Fleet's actually a point guard, but he's a starting shooting guard. And yet he's still doing work. Like he actually has to give Lowry the ball and he's going to the corner. You know what I mean? Like he's not every play is me. And he's already killing.
Do you think other teams would have paid him that same amount?
Yes, 100. The Knicks wanted to pay him, but what sus Van Fleet, so this is why I say you understand the context of the free agency year. This free agency year, Van Fleet is a top 3 player.
Yeah.
So that's a big thing. So is any other free agency year, you'll pay him like 30 million. Because of the amount, right? Because of who? No, there's no free agents. He was literally the top 3. It was him, Christian Wood, and Ibaka, and who else was there? Gordon Hayward, and like those guys, right? They were the top tier. DeMar DeRozan, they were the top tier. But Van Fleet was literally number 2. He was like number 2. Anthony Davis was number 1, and he was like number 2, right? But Anthony Davis we knew was re-signing, right? So in that context, what sussed him now with the Knicks, I know he was gonna get more bread with the Knicks, but Westbrook all of a sudden said, I want to ask for a trade. So the Knicks are like, let's inquire on him. Right? Mm-hmm. So now they're like, we're not going to give you a hella bag. Now that's what the Knicks changed their whole direction. They're like, you know what? We're going to actually go and that's why you saw wave Bobby Portis. Just waving bare mans to have money to trade for Westbrook and do all these big type of deals. Right? Maybe get Gordon Hayward. So that's sus Van Fleet. But I think the Knicks were actually like, he was going to get a big bag from that goes about money. And then for Van Fleet, he's not going to say it, but he would tell you that the Knicks probably dropped their money and Raptors became the more money. So he actually went Raptors. That's actually when I look at it, I'm like, that's what happened.
Maybe, right. But at the same time,
but he's
not actually. Well, in a way, you know what? Let me not be. He is worth that in the grand scheme of things.
Yes, yeah. But
he's only worth that for the Raptors. That's what I would say.
I can see that. 100%. It's like that with Pascal. I agree. That's exactly
what I'm saying. Pascal is not worth that.
See, this is
trade him.
No.
Please.
Pascal's worth the money, but he's not worth the money in the number 1 position.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
But people are, see, this is what people do. People say, yo, Pascal's not worth the money. Like, I roast Pascal all the time. But Ben Simmons is getting the same bread.
And Ben Simmons
Tristan Thompson, like, bare guys have gotten, what do you mean? They're on the same level. What do you mean?
Ben Simmons is better than Pascal.
You can't be serious right now.
And Ben Simmons has a higher ceiling than Pascal.
He has a higher ceiling. Yes, he's a higher ceiling, but you're not getting that kind of bread for higher ceiling. You have to have it's some production. Kind of bread
for higher ceiling.
It's because he's been an all-star. He also has production too. It's not just because but you don't get max dollars from just possession.
He has production, but both of them are very limited in terms of their game.
Exactly.
Right? But the difference is Ben Simmons, you see what he could be. And Pascal, he's more or less
cap.
He's more or less
if anything, I would gear more to Pascal. Pascal is a number 2 option, won a ring. But Ben Simmons in a number 2 option does 0 points. What are we talking? So he's only thriving in a number 1 option. So what am I paying you for?
That's actually Ben Simmons.
That's actually true.
You can't play with a duo. You can only play by yourself. But if anything, you're more limited. Get less money.
At the same time, we don't know. And this is the next thing. This is the next thing, right? Sometimes you don't know what a player is actually capable of because they're not playing their actual game
I know.
on the team that they're on.
Ben Simmons
right?
could be, if he was like in a Giannis situation.
Exactly.
And
this is what people don't understand, right? There's a bunch of players in the league who they're sitting on the bench now because they train for their fantasy. They don't train for their reality.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? So there's guys who when they train in the off season, they train as if they're going to be the number one option, right? When they get the ball, they're taking 4 seconds to make a decision. They're in the triple threat for hella long. Yeah. But guess what? In the actual game, your coach is not going to let you do that. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. So you have to be practicing your off-ball movement. You have to be practicing your screens and coming off the screens in different ways that you can deceive people off ball, etc., etc.
That's a tough one,
right? But honestly, you have to do that in order to expand your game just enough to get enough minutes to be able to show, really and truly what your game actually is.
But the problem is when a player now does that and he buys into the role that you give him, he's now stuck in that role. Perfect examples like Corey Joseph, right? Corey Joseph, everyone knows Raptors with all that type of stuff. But Corey Joseph, like him, I look at like him and like Patty Mills. When Patty Mills will play and Tony Parker's out, Patty Mills is going for almost 30. He's snapping.
Yeah.
Corey Joseph's done. He's trying to play the role. So Patty Mills might not get, like, his career money-wise might not be the money that Corey Joseph's going to see because there's a value in role players, 3-and-D guys. There's value in that, but you'll never break out that role. You're that role for life. Like Covington. You're that role for life. So you'll make the bag, but no one will remember you. People will remember Patty Mills more than they remember Corey Joseph.
Yeah, but at the same time, you have to wait for your chance, right?
I'm saying it's like Jeremy Lin. It's a combo.
No, I get you, because what you're saying is true.
It's a mix.
You made it to the NBA by being the player that you are, right? And now that you're on a team, they're asking you to be something else. You've never been that. You know what I'm saying? But if you want to make it to the next level and you're not top tier, to where they're going to be like, okay, we'll be patient with you, right? If you're not top tier, if you're just a B-list or a C-list guy, then you have to perfect the role that they're asking you to do. You have to.
I get what you're saying, but then you get stuck in that role. That's what happens. That's the politics of them.
But oftentimes, what happens to the guys who don't do that?
They
end up getting cut.
Exactly.
They end up getting traded.
That's what I'm trying to.
And then they end up going.
That's why I'm trying to give insight to the fact. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. That's what happened. That's why you see guys like Brandon Jennings. There's so many guys.
Like Michael Beasley,
Ben Gordon. There's so many guys that even Iverson, when he stopped early, they're elite, but they're stuck in a situation that they're not happy. They're in their own minds. From a player's perspective, it's like, yo, I can't just be doing this, go past to the corner. I can't. That's
actually,
not my
know
game.
what almost happened to?
So now, if I hold on, if I even Beasley 2 at a time, if I now do this, I'm stuck in that role. And the perfect example, like J.R. Smith. J.R. Smith was a 6-man guy. He doesn't even want to be 6-man, but he had to live in that role. He now becomes a 6-man guy. But for him to be a starter, he has to be a corner nigga with LeBron. And now after that, he's stuck as that. Right? And it sometimes, when you thrive in a role player situation, every other team looks at you as, I see you for that reason. You're elite in that, I'm drafting you. So every person that trades for you and you become a Danny Green, you bounce. Everyone wants you for that role. You can never do nothing. Danny Green, people are surprised when Danny Green pumping 1 dribble pull up. Huh? What are you doing? He could do it, but he doesn't do. I see him shooting with lethal shooter, doing moves, but it's like you get stuck in that role. So guys who are like versatile players, they don't ever want to even give a sign that I could just do that only. Because now it's a battle of the mind. It's a battle of like, it's like being a star where now you take a risk. It's like a business. You take a risk that in the long run you could actually be remembered and you could be at the max here, or you just stay here. But you might fall though.
Why do you think Melo doesn't want to become a benchman?
Exactly. That even earlier.
But this is what I'm saying. I'm not disagreeing with what you're saying. But the issue is the risk with doing that is that you can end up dropping off completely. You know what I'm saying? Like, for instance, when I look at Brandon Knight, I know Brandon Knight
is that perfect example.
He's actually nice.
Him and Jennings, same thing. Yeah.
Brandon Knight, like, don't sleep. I don't know what team he's on now.
Just because he got dunked on doesn't mean that he can't do it.
Okay? I don't know what team he's on now. But believe me, Brandon Knight is one of those guys that's actually nice. Like, if you watch ball, you see him, you know that he's nice. Mm-hmm. But the issue is because he wasn't willing to adapt to a role. Yeah. And, even if you have a 1-2 off game or whatever the case may be, all of a sudden you get blackballed. Mm-hmm. What I'm saying is not that you shouldn't be yourself, but you have to adapt the role that they're giving you and then show yourself
that you're nice
in bits and
those
pieces
situations.
within
Exactly.
That's the only way you can do it. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
there's
Jordan Clarkson, for example, like that.
Right? There's some guys. There's so many guys that they end up getting themselves messed up because they don't have, especially if you're not a high draft pick. If you're not a high draft pick, they're not really patient with you like that.
They're not, yeah.
Do you see what I'm saying?
Quick.
The guys that they're patient with are these high draft picks that they have to be like, okay, you know what? Let's see. Do you think that they're giving anybody else the amount of time as they give Alonzo? No. You see what I'm saying? You suss it for a whole week.
Everything I'm talking about is just me. I'm talking about the lower tier. I'm talking about like second round draft picks, Stanley Johnson.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
That's what I'm talking
I'm saying those guys, you have to adapt to the role. But at the same time, you have to be able to, you have to find a way to showcase what you can do while you're in that role.
Thing, sometimes in that role, when they showcase, they still bench them. Say no. That's true. That's what I'm saying.
But that's because and there's
that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. I'm just speaking like this for these guys.
Depends on the coach.
For so they know, because a lot of them, they should, even Stanley Johnson, they shit on him. They look at a Stanley Johnson that now comes in. And Stanley Johnson comes in and he's bricking every time he comes. I'm like, dog, the fact that this man is getting subbed in, he was a guy who was a high draft pick, 10 draft pick or whatever he was, and now he's getting subbed in with the third stringers when the game is a blowout. Yeah. His mental game is already like, why am I trying for this shit? So now it's like, I'm just shooting, he's bricking, like, people look at him in those situations, he's capped when he got minutes. I'm like, the fact that he feels disrespected. And yes, now obviously the way is to show it out, showcase, but you never get that opportunity. And if you do get that opportunity, if he now goes, he's going to have to try and show what he's doing. But if it doesn't work, the minute it doesn't work, it's like, what are you doing? Yeah.
For guys,
you have a leash.
For the next
so those situations is what I'm talking about. Your situation is like a Jordan Clarkson, like those situations where you're getting an opportunity, but you could also be taken away. So you have enough time where you can't give no excuses. So that's why Jordan Clarkson has thrived. You know? I'm talking about the guys who like the second round. There's so many people there's 60 people players in the draft. They get drafted, and next year you don't even know the second round.
Lakers rookie, he did it.
Oh yeah, like Tucker or whatever, Horton Tucker, that guy, Talon Horton Tucker. But he has LeBron's bracket.
This is the next thing, right? Like some of these guys, like what's this guy's name on the Raptors? The light skinned boy who is out here saucing people. Malachi
Flynn. Everyone loves him.
Watch this.
You don't like him?
You don't like him?
I don't have a problem with him. He's not gonna play.
That's cap. What are you talking about?
Watch.
He's the backup piece.
My IQ is high.
No,
I'm telling you.
No,
guys like this, it always happens time and time again. There's so many teams I see somebody, I'm like, yo.
They drafted him to be Van Fleet's
this man's actually nice. And then when the games come, especially when it gets deeper into the season, and it gets more important, these guys all of a sudden you start saying,
you'll be right there. Yeah, I know.
Where they at though?
I know. You'll be right there.
Look at Bobo.
Terrence Davis.
Look at how when you look at how good Bobo actually is compared to the amount that they actually let the man play. Do you see what I'm saying? It happens all.
But this situation is a bit different. I get what you're saying because he's basically competing with Lowry, Van Fleet, and Terrence Davis. So
exactly.
The leash they're gonna give him in a situation where they still have to compete is not gonna be as warm as a leash as like when Van Vliet and Terrence Davis and those guys were coming in. They had a need for bench production. Right now, Raptors' issue is never the bench. You know what I'm saying? It's mainly just your star potential. That's what the issue is. So he's gonna be fighting. I think he'll still be getting minutes and all that type of stuff. But like, if he doesn't perform well and Van Vliet's cooking,
he's not gonna get that much minutes, man.
Consistent.
Yeah, this is what happens to these guys all the time.
He's for the future, though.
Especially when you get put behind two guys. But the NBA isn't like the NFL. You see what I'm saying? You don't just get put on the bench and just be chilling there for 2 years, and then all of a sudden you come out and you're Aaron Rodgers. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. That doesn't happen.
It's true.
That doesn't happen for basketball players, right? Mm-hmm. He's in a situation now where for him to be able to get the minutes that he might deserve for his skill level, he's going to have to beat out. The second man.
Yeah.
Or what I was thinking was that they might part ways with Lowry next year, and then it's now Van Fleet starting and Malachi number 2 off the bench. That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking because they drafted a guy exactly like Van Fleet.
Lowry's gonna be there.
My gut is telling me Masai is gonna play.
He's gonna retire Lowry.
You know why he's gonna keep Lowry? Because this is what he's gonna. I already know. They're gonna get nobody. All the big names they want, and then now it's like,
exactly. Out of loyalty, they'll give him a stupid 1 or 2 year deal with pinch money, and Lowry will stay.
I'm telling you because
he's gonna stay.
This is the thing, and even to your point, Doreen, the Raptors have to have something that makes them appealing outside of other teams. And the only thing that they can really have that's appealing is that we're a family. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, this isn't just a team. Like, we don't just treat you guys like players. We know that we sus DeRozan. However, we got a ring. Look at Lowry. We still have Lowry.
You know what they're doing? Now that you brought up DeRozan, I can see from a moment. This is why DeRozan opted in. DeRozan opted in with IQ. Remember, he's been frustrated in San Antonio. And I was thinking, he might be a free agent. But I'm like, IQ, is this what they're doing? Masai probably told him, like, because they have a better relationship now. If you opt back in, you're guaranteed a free agent next year, right? That's our year where we have all the money and we can actually decide to do. We don't want to sign you. If we sign DeRozan this year, it was sus next year anyways. But DeRozan's going to be the fallback plan. So now if they can't have whoever they can have, they'll sign DeRozan. So they lined it up perfectly. I can see it. Sign Lowry back, sign DeRozan. I can already. Now it's going to be Lowry it's going to be Van Fleet, Lowry, Pascal, DeRozan. I'm telling you. You heard it from me, bro. I'm telling you.
So then, do you understand what I'm saying when I say Malachi's not going to get minutes like that?
Yeah, that's true.
I'm actually telling you, bro. This happens all the time. This happens all the time, bro. Like, this is why you have a guy like Jeremy Lin all of a sudden come out. Raptors are injured. All of a sudden, you just come out. You put on this Asian kid on the court, and he starts slapping everybody. You're like, yo, who is this kid?
But Raptors do develop well. That's one thing I give them.
But the problem is, why are you picking? This is what I hate, man. Why are you picking players? Albeit, he's a very good player from what I've seen. But you're picking him in a role where he's never going to be able to really come out of that unless somebody gets injured.
Instead of getting a good big or something.
Do you see what I'm saying? You need to pick a player of the same skill at a position that's actually available. When you go and you pick a player like that on a team that already has a first guy and a second guy, and he's small. He's not even like he's tall.
But I will say though,
well, maybe that was the best number for the number.
I think they drafted
best guy for the number.
They know they're going to get Van Fleet. That's why they drafted him. That's what I say. That's why I said they literally drafted.
What Doreen was trying to say something.
They drafted him before Van Fleet actually committed to signing. Is my understanding. So I feel like their hand was
Van Fleet was. That's why they drafted a Van Fleet look-alike, similar place. However, because Van Fleet is like he might go to the Knicks. If he goes, at least Flynn is the replacement. That's what it normally was. It was an insurance policy. And then now if Lowry goes next year, Flynn is the replacement. So it's Well,
if Flynn actually pans out, then if I was the Raptors, I would trade Van Fleet. Because
later down the line.
Because his stock is bigger than Malachi's is. If Malachi is able to do the same thing, I would rather fill in a gap where I actually need to be filled in than keep. Because if I try to trade Malachi, I can get barely anything for him. Yeah. Nobody knows him. But if Malachi is actually able to replace Van Fleet, which is a big if.
I think
that's a big if because this is the difference, right? This is the difference, and this is what people don't understand. We talked about this the other day. Okay, some of these guys, you put them in a preseason game, they'll go off. You put them in a summer league game, they'll slap. You put them in a regular season game, they might even nice it. You put them in the playoffs, all of a sudden, you put them. Van Fleet has proven himself at every level. So to take a gamble on Malachi compared to Van Fleet, who's actually proven himself at the highest level, Malachi, he has no chance. The only chance he has is if one of them gets injured.
Or leaves or something.
Do you see what I'm saying? But if they really believe in him that he's actually going to be at the caliber of a Van Fleet, which I think is too much of an if, but if they actually do believe that, then they should trade Van Fleet and get somebody worthwhile at the 4 or the 5.
Okay, enough of the Raps. Who is coming out of the East and the West as the top teams?
Before we talk about that.
Oh,
Giannis. So Giannis, this is a segue. Giannis, Raptors can't get him. Giannis re-signed. Milwaukee traded for Drew. All this type of stuff. What do y'all? Tammy Trills told me first. What do y'all think about just the Giannis re-signing, them getting Drew Holiday? Obviously, there was a Bogdanovich debacle that happened. They didn't get him. Atlanta got him, but they got some pieces. They got some guys. You know what I'm saying? They got Bobby Portis, all this type of stuff. But does that change anything? What is that going on here? What do y'all think about him even re-signing? What do you think about him resigning?
First, I actually didn't think he was going to resign. Just the way he was moving. Once the Bogdanovich thing started to go sideways, the way Giannis was moving like, if we don't get the right pieces, then I'm not coming back. Because the track record of what they've been doing in the playoffs in the past, they've been sussing a little bit. Now he's looking to win. So my first initial thought was, this man's going to the Warriors. That's what I thought. Everyone was thinking that. I thought he was going to the Warriors. But then once they got Drew Holiday and they got some more pieces, now I see that he re-signed. Because where else is he really going to go? He wasn't coming to the Raptors.
The thing too, go ahead.
My thing is with Giannis, I think that the best situation for him, in all honesty, would have been the Raptors. I think that, and I'm not even saying that
really with him and Siakam.
I'm not even saying that. No, I'm saying, but you have to remember, I don't like Siakam.
Oh.
You see what I'm saying? Like Siakam can go somewhere.
Wait, so
you
can trade him?
You can trade.
Pascal.
Trade, replace Pascal.
Okay, then,
and you
keep.
keep.
That's the only way.
You put Giannis on the team, and if you're taking a Giannis and you're replacing Pascal with Giannis, then any distance that we could have made with Pascal, we will make it with Giannis. And a bit further. I still don't think it's going to be good enough to win. I still don't think it would be.
But if you trade for
him,
you're decimating the bear of the team. If you trade Pascal, you mean trade Pascal by himself for somebody?
No, there's no way you could trade Pascal by himself.
So who else would we lose though?
No, not for Giannis. I'm saying first you would trade Pascal for who? That's what I'm saying. In that deal, do you lose Van Fleet? Do you lose? That's what I'm saying.
You might, but if it's worth it.
Yeah.
You know, Missy Elliott once said, if it's worth it, let me work.
You know what I mean?
Siakam is not high enough as a player.
Is your feminine perform yet?
Siakam has not established himself in the NBA to be a 1-for-1 trade option.
Yeah.
You have to pair him with 2 to 3 mans to trade him for an elite 1 man.
So would you empty the clip for Giannis?
That's the question. And we could have done
personally.
it for Paul George and all them.
You don't empty the clip for Giannis because it's free agency, so you hope he comes. You wouldn't trade for him. That's why no one traded for him. But even then, Giannis, like, for me, obviously Giannis has he has some weaknesses, but at the end of the day, for Giannis individually, I understand why he stayed with Milwaukee because he's in a situation that's like similar to how DeRozan and Lowry think, where it's like, I'm in the East, I'm an all-star, I'm competitive individually, MVP, like I've done things that if I went somewhere else, I wouldn't be able to do. Yeah. And the money is reckless. You know what I'm saying? And he's a loyal person. So for him to leave, it would have to could he really leave and do exactly what he's doing somewhere else?
Hell no.
And the fact that the whole team has been built
around you. That's what I'm saying. Your accolades. He knows his accolades are dependent on what's around you.
Leading in assists, points, and blocks and rebounds.
So the fact that they tried enough to actually do, he's probably like, okay, through my 5-year run, they're probably gonna try more, but they might not try more now. You just finally signed a deal, but Giannis is thinking about loyalty, all that type of stuff. My only issue for Giannis, again, like I always say, same thing. He's the same category of Pascal. Obviously, they do have I've seen Giannis do post fades. I've seen him have the ability. But in the moments, it's not in your actual bloodline. It's not in your bloodline that it goes out the window. Like when pressure comes, you go to what run into the paint. So you
have
get
the mentality, but you don't have the skill set to match it.
Exactly. So what? Giannis is being lied to. Giannis is being fooled. So for people who don't know out here, Giannis is playing a complete different role that he should not be playing. Giannis should never be ball handling. Giannis should be playing like Draymond and like Shaq and be a better version. All you do is pick and roll, play like Gobert. And when you get it in handle situations, then you now do your Euro. He should never be dribbling from 3-point line and running down and trying to do Euro. Be a big man. Be the 5. No, Giannis should actually be the 5. He should be the center.
Sit in the paint, just dunk on it.
He should be the center. And him pick and roll with Drew and just roll and basically imagine he was with Devin Booker. Devin Booker, the Shaq is the Kobe. Because this is how Shaq used to play in Orlando. He was agile. He could ball handle. He could run, get rebound, push. But he didn't do it often because the game was different. But then he gets a deep catch. That now when you get a deep catch, they can't W. There's no wall. I just turn up and under punch. So he punches on mans.
Exactly.
But the difference is too between Giannis and Shaq.
That's perfect.
The difference is
too. I just watched Dwight Howard's career highlights. And I'm like, yo, this is what Giannis is supposed to be doing. Never bring up the ball. Do a 1-2, build your post moves. 1-2 spin move, punch.
Quick decision
moves. Man, you'll be eating.
But the thing is, especially what people don't realize, right, is even when you look at a Shaq as an example, Shaq's game was not one dimensional
at all.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Shaq had post hooks,
Bruh.
feet going both ways. He had up and unders.
Crossovers.
He had drop sets.
Bruh.
He had
Crossover,
he
spin,
could face
dunk on your
up. He could
head.
back to the basket.
Bruh.
Like, and Shaq, mind you, if he wanted to, all he could do is just bully. You know what I'm saying? Giannis's game is very, very one-dimensional.
Euro spin.
So the difficulty with having somebody who's
is one-dimensional because he's playing. If he's ball handling from the 3-point line. He's playing point guard.
Yeah, but has he shown you that he can play back to the basket?
He has when he catches it deep. That's what I'm saying. If you watch it,
He did it this
when he's
preseason.
not ball handling, because remember the offense is built around him for 5 out. So he normally ball handles and he's always pushing the ball and he's dribbling and he's trying to pass and he's playing like Ben Simmons, right? Yeah, so that's why he's limited for him to get to the paint from this far. He gets doubled on the way there, and there's so many chaos that he gets sus. He doesn't have enough arsenal to now do things out of that, congestion. Exactly. But the thing is, when he gets it and he catches a deep low post and he turns punches on you, up and under, punch on, he does one hook. He does up and under, left hand, spin moves. He even does euros, wrong foot. Like he does those things too from close. That's why you see his arsenal get shown in transition. Yeah. Because in transition there's open space. But all of it is, he'll do a euro, he'll do a spin, he'll do that fake euro, he'll do all those moves, right? In transition, because there's more space.
Yeah. But these guys, oftentimes, they fall in love with having the ball, right?
And the accolades that come with it.
Right? And it's like,
this is the point.
Because the issue is when you're a big, right, you have to depend on your guard for the rock.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
Exactly.
And so, but the difference is when you have somebody like Shaq, right? Even when you look at Anthony Davis, I've seen quarters where Anthony Davis doesn't get past the ball.
Yeah, in the finals,
you know
remember?
What I'm saying? Shaq, there is no quarter you're not going to pass Shaq because he will go to timeout and he will slap.
Exactly. Or he'll get 3 on purpose.
Like Shaq is an alpha.
Yeah, he's an alpha. Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? You won't even believe in yourself
you will block
that you can let the
goaltend you. Yeah,
you see what I'm saying?
Give me that shit. Goaltend.
But yeah, man. So I don't know, man. Giannis. I think that if they did like what you said, you see what I'm saying? I think it would optimize his game. But the way that his game is now is too easy to. If you really have to sit down and game plan, and you have pieces that are good enough to actually play team defense. It's too easy to now shut that down. Do you see what I'm saying? To shut the paint down.
The Raptors are an example of that.
Yeah, they patted him.
Kawhi, easy. Pass.
And then the next year versus the Heat, like only
they're balling free throws 2 in a row. What are you doing? Look at that. Yo, get out of here.
So do you guys think that they're gonna do anything different this season with the moves they made? Do you think it's the same result?
No.
Or what?
I think
the Bucks.
I think it's the same.
Remember, they got Drew Holiday now. He actually has an actual like cooking point guard. Like they have a trio now. For like Bledsoe was limited. Like Bledsoe, people think he's fugazi. No, he has to be spot up, and he's doing this. That's like LeBron, like how LeBron made Rondo. That's why they look fugazi. Like Bledsoe, if he was in the situation,
time, Bledsoe's one of those guys that thinks that he's nicer.
No, he's nice. Cap, he's nice.
No,
Bledsoe's nice.
He's good,
but he's not
nice.
He's being. That's Cap. He's being played. He's being played to spot up.
Yeah.
He can't spot up.
Kevin Love.
I've been watching him from since he was on Clippers,
and he was cooking. That's why in Phoenix, and he was cooking too, averaging almost 20.
Yeah, he's
Kevin Love in the Cavs is the example.
He's nice.
I'm not
30 and 30 games, and then you go to play with LeBron, and you're just doing pull-ups.
Because you have to remember, Bledsoe, even when he was on Clippers, he didn't live in a role where he's game plan for. Right? He was playing behind Chris Paul.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? So the plan is around.
I'm talking about Phoenix. Phoenix was a
yeah, but that's still a bummy team. You know what I'm saying?
The reason why, like Lake is saying, Bledsoe was limited is because he's a downhill point guard. It's like having John Wall with Giannis. Or people who are downhill, 2 downhill guys on the same team, you need paint.
Yeah, no space.
So there's no space.
He's forced to space out.
He's forced to be the spacer because he's better shooter. Even though he's still a doo-doo shooter.
Exactly.
Compared to Giannis, you have to.
So y'all think same thing, same situation?
I think it's gonna work out.
I think that the Bucks are a good.
So where do you have them in the East? What do we have as the East landscape? So that's now the next what we're talking about. The landscape of the East and what. So first we're
like
with the East. Like, what do we think? Top 8. What do we think? Who's gonna be nice? Top 8. That's hard to think.
We're talking about what we want or the
Can we go
realistic.
through the teams on the East again? Sorry.
So this is the main teams that we already know that's going to be good in these. You have Washington with Westbrook and Beal. We don't know how they're going to be, but Washington, Chicago. I'm just naming the lower tier. I'm going from lower up, right?
Oh, okay.
You have Washington. You have Chicago. Atlanta now supposed to make a jump. They have Bogdanovich, Trae Young, Gallinari. They have all these kind of Rondos there, so they improve.
Is that where Rondo went?
Yes, Rondo went to Atlanta. You got Philly, who's still there. You got Indiana, who's still there, right? There's Orlando. There's Milwaukee. There's Raptors. There's Brooklyn, right? Then there's Boston and Miami. Those are the main teams.
I think that the first seed is most likely going to be the Nets. I think the first seed is most likely going to be the Nets.
That's a hot take.
I think that the second seed might be actually the Heat, to be honest.
Who's on the Heat right now? Butler.
Same team, but they improved. They got Avery Bradley now, and they got Mo Harkless. So
you're putting them second?
They're gonna jump.
The thing is, which you have to remember, right?
Oh my god, defense is
Pascal
is scoring 10. Harkless on him.
10, 7.
Harkless or Bam. Pascal was able to escape because Bam they'll put Pascal and Aaron Baines. So now Bam is playing center now. So Bam is on Gasol or whatever. And then they had Jay Crowder guarding Pascal. Now you have Harkless.
And the thing is, you have to keep in mind, right? When a team makes it to the finals, as soon as a team even makes it to compete in the finals, the next year, even if it's all the same players, that is not the same team. That's a whole different level of
15-16 Warriors and 14-15 Warriors are exact same thing. 14-15, they didn't trade, they didn't get no one. It's the same team, but now they have 73 wins. What the hell happened? Exactly. Experience. Once you go to the finals, through the playoffs, you now know what the hell is going on. Yeah, you now game plan specifically for specific games. You know how to.
Okay, young boy.
You know how to maneuver. I know.
Okay.
What? The explosion?
Let's go. He said, "Don't hate on my age."
Hey, I said, give him another one.
I give them the IQ because that's what I do. Okay. No, but that's true, man.
Tyler Hero, Duncan Rum.
I'm telling you, that team is going to be a regular season nightmare, especially for one main reason, which is defense. And to me, the number one player in the East outside of KD and Kyrie is Jimmy. I feel like Jimmy, he's one of those guys that, like, I know how good he is, and he doesn't play as good as he actually is.
Yeah, 100%.
You see what I'm saying?
That is Jimmy. You have to yell at him.
Chicago Jimmy G who?
Bro, like, y'all don't understand. Like, Jimmy is one of those guys. I always know, like, when you see Jimmy on offense, Jimmy is supposed to be a first option kind of guy. Jimmy should be putting up 25 shots per game. But he doesn't because he just wants his team. He actually loves his young boys. And whatever. He actually really likes them. He's trying to boost them up.
He loves mans who think the same as him. They're all dogs. Every man he wants drugs to eat. He wants every man to eat.
If they made Jimmy the clear number one option and they said, "Yo, we need you to take 25 shots per night," I really feel like the Heat would take a jump.
But this is the difference, though. This is the difference between caliber of players and playing off ball and sacrificing for others. This is something this is my knock against LeBron and some of these other guys. Even maybe Luka, Harden, they play that one style, right? Jimmy knows that even though he's so alpha, he knows I can score at any time. When it's time, like the finals, the whole playoffs, he was like the third best scorer, fourth best scorer. But when it was time, he was competing with LeBron, shot for shot, and he even beat LeBron at closing in that one game. He knows I'm good either way. I don't need warm.
That's the real Don mentality.
But he knows I need you guys to get to a level. I need Hero to have confidence. Duncan Robinson, and you guys play better, but I need you guys to play in your elite way. Your best way means I have to touch it less, so you can shoot more because you're just a shooter. Then that's what you do. Yeah. I'm gonna sacrifice. I can play defense,
good. But you see,
I can play make. I can rebound.
And the thing is with Jimmy too is that
and still get 15.
Jimmy isn't obsolete off ball.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
That's the difference.
Most stars in the NBA, they can't do anything if they don't have the ball in their hand.
Exactly.
Most stars.
That's one of the biggest skills.
Except for KD.
Mm-hmm.
Yo, Steph Curry.
Yeah.
I am tired of you guys disrespecting my man, bro. I'm sick and tired. Everybody's talking about, this point guard is better. That point guard is better. Listen, Steph Curry has been beating his own records for years. Steph Curry is a man living on an island, and everybody wants to make their island look like his.
It's true, though.
Okay? Steph Curry is the reason why people are pulling up from the logo. Steph Curry hasn't averaged less than 42% from three for his whole career. Okay? Steph Curry, like, y'all really forgot who the boy is.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? And especially this year, now that he doesn't, and this is the thing.
Bucket.
Exactly what you said about Jimmy is exactly how Steph is. Yeah. Steph could be one of these guys that's chucking like Westbrook.
You average 40 points.
Yeah. But because Steph, and this is why you can't compare any of these other point guards to Steph, right? Even though, I'll grant it, like somebody says that they think that Dame is the best point guard in the league, I'm not going to lose my mind.
Dame, Kyrie, Steph.
That's what I'm not going to lose my mind. Mm-hmm. But the reason why I say that Dame and Kyrie are not on Steph Curry's level is because Steph Curry is he might be the only player in the NBA who's an elite scorer who is equally as dangerous on ball as he is off ball.
That's fact. That's cap.
Yo,
that's cap.
Steph Curry is so dangerous off ball. As a matter of fact, no, I'm sorry. There's also Devin. That's my guy.
But he's shooting guard. He's not point guard.
But in terms of point guard, Steph Curry, he's such a danger because whether he's on or off the ball, the main focus of the whole defense is on Steph. Yeah. Mm-hmm. You have to keep track of him at all times.
He's doing Maze Runner during the game.
See, I agree, but you took it too far.
No, it's true.
I get what you're saying, but this is why people have Kyrie. For me, even I have Kyrie as higher than Steph and Dame in certain moments, because the thing for Steph is he talking about clutch. Not just clutch. I'm talking about pressure, even pressure games. Yeah. Okay? I'm talking about pressure games. The thing, but people don't understand, this is why the playoffs is a different level than thing, because Steph is a guy who could, like, regular season, even in the playoffs, he's playing when his plays and their ball movement system is working, right? When the ball movement, the team isn't ready for all of that, all this passing and all that type of stuff, like Portland, all these other teams, he's going to thrive in that situation always. But when you have a team that now goes, you know what? We're going to do switch ability and force you to ISO. What does Steph do? He doesn't do that much. So now you're not looking at Kyrie in a Golden State system.
Of course, Kyrie is a better ISO player than Steph.
Let me finish what I'm saying. What I'm saying is Steph, you're looking at him and his thriving in his best situation, which is him playing off the ball and killing, right? And just moving OD. Everyone else, like Kyrie and Dame, they're playing in different situations, so they aren't able to be with a Clay and able to be with a Draymond who could play make as a 4 and screen, and they can't move like that. Right? So they're not in that situation. They're in a complete different situation, like Kyrie with Bron. So like Kyrie was forced to be the scorer with Bron, right? So him being forced to be the scorer with Bron, he's forced to play that one way. So obviously, when you look at Steph with your own eyes and you see them the way they're playing, Steph's just getting buckets. And if he doesn't have it, pass the ball, relocate, and he's just constantly moving. But then now in the playoffs, that's why now over the finals, Kyrie looks better because now they're both in situations where it's like, okay, no plays right now. What are we doing here? And Kyrie elevated and looks better. That's why in big moments.
But additionally, you have to keep in mind, right? Kyrie is. I would never disagree that Kyrie is a better ISO. Kyrie might be arguably the best ISO player in the league. Yeah. Even though for me, there's one guy that I will always choose is either between Devin. And it's between KD for me.
Those three are on their own.
In terms of ISO,
those three are on their own. They're on their own island.
No. Kevin Durant is number one by himself, and then a lower tier would be Kyrie.
I'm not gonna roll with that, but I get what you're saying.
I'm telling you, Devin.
What?
Devin, don't take NyQuil. Stay woke.
What do you mean? KD is elite on one-on-one Arsenal, but he's not pulling the Arsenal that Kyrie's doing. Kyrie literally Like the whole game doesn't even do the same move.
Yeah, Kyrie is actually.
Like even just the preseason, if you just look at
the definition of ball.
If you look at KD's highlight, it was like KD's my guy. He's honestly the top. For me, he's already top 5 already. If he's career ended today, he's top 5 because his efficiency mixed with his ability is just reckless. So, but the thing with KD is so efficient. That's why he's so dangerous. His height is so dangerous that he's so efficient in his ways that he plays. So it's like even when you try and stop it, you're pinched. But Kyrie has to do more ability because he's pinched. So Kyrie literally, and you'll see even just preseason. If you watch his preseason, when both of them were snapping, Kyrie's buckets are all different. KD was, his heavy pull up, he comes off the screen. His pull up situation.
Yeah, but I can say the same thing about Devin. And Devin can do that with.
No, that's why I said Devin. That's what I'm saying. Devin is more to Kyrie in terms of the ability they have to provide. But KD doesn't have to do all of that.
Yeah,
and that's one of the reasons why he's so efficient. That's why he's so dangerous. Because when you look at the grand scheme, Durant's efficiency is so reckless because he doesn't have to take. Even when he takes a bad shot, it's still a good shot.
I've seen KD in person. I've seen KD in person. The height I saw was literally a moving bus. It was a walking bus. And then I added his 7 feet reach, and then him jumping like how high in the air. I said, this nigga is literally, he's literally
rim level
with my eyes. When I went to the Raptors finals, when he came out the bus, I said, this nigga is so tall. It was retarded. DeMarcus Cousins was here, KD was here. Andrew Bogut was here, KD was. I'm like, yo, this nigga is hella tall. Walking into the door of a hotel. I'm like, nah, bro. At jumping. That's why Anthony Davis is not blocking nobody.
Yeah, but when we're talking about ISO, we're talking about like your ability
to
create, right? But KD, he doesn't even necessarily have to create.
That's what I'm saying.
Like you can literally just be standing here and he's just gonna shoot. Overdose.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Exactly. KD is the equivalent to like Michael Jordan, where he has his efficient moves that make him efficient, and he's going to those go-to efficient moves. And Booker and Kyrie are akin to Kobe, where they have all these extra moves.
I would say more so Booker than Kyrie because Kobe could score, like if you needed him to score in 1 second.
Yes, he could do that.
With no space, he could do that.
Yeah.
If you needed him to just hold the ball for the last shot at the top of the 3-point line, he could do that. You see what I'm saying? Whereas Kyrie, he has to put you in he has to put you in the mixer. You see what I'm saying?
No, really.
He has to put you in the,
like his pull up on Steph Curry in the finals.
Actually, that's not true.
Wasn't that? He didn't put nobody in the blender for a pull-up shot in the finals.
He can score any situation.
I'm not saying. I'm still saying he's top. I'm just saying that he's not as top.
Why do you think Kyrie was arguing with KD about I want more post-up touches and all that stuff? Because Kyrie in his mind, he just does it because he's a point guard. He could post every single play if he wants. Like I've seen him cook Damian Lillard in the post shimmy up and under. Like I've seen him do moves Kawhi has never even thought of.
I know what you're talking about.
I understand.
In the post, but he just doesn't because it looks bad. We're talking
about what you actually do in game, though.
But I just know the ability. That's what I've seen him do it, so I know the ability. He just can't. That's what I'm saying. It's different. It's different calibers. Like he's a point guard, remember? So Booker's a shooting guard, so he doesn't have to.
Yeah, but
and he's taller.
Training videos.
But Booker's good. People are gonna see this year when we talk about the West. Is there Booker is like he's actually Kobe. Like he's actually like the reverse pivot game winner, pump fake on 2 mans.
Thank you.
Why do you think that picture is only for the top of Kobe?
We gotta. Who's next?
No, the East. We talk about the East. Yeah. So who do we have as top? We didn't talk about who's actually top. We digressed, but we back. Who's top in the East?
I say number 1 is Brooklyn.
You both said Brooklyn. For me, I still think the Bucks will just find a way to be number 1. Just Giannis is just too fake in regular season. You're not game planning for him, run downhill. Now you add Drew Holiday who has pads. You know what I'm saying? So it's I just know they're number 1.
I can see that.
It's been 2 years straight number 1.
I don't know. It's
the same
team though.
It's different but the same.
Yeah.
The roles are the same.
I know, but at the same time, you still have to have time for chemistry and for all that. Yeah, but that's KD and that's Kyrie.
But you know me. I have them winning the chip. Like
if it was just Kyrie, I get
different.
You.
Yeah.
But KD being there.
But the rest. I'm saying just the rest.
KD in the East is about to.
I'm saying there's gonna be a 1-2 games. They're gonna rest. I'm not talking about finals or playoffs and fate matchups. I'm just talking about regular season record.
I wouldn't be surprised if the Bucks won.
I have Nets number 2.
Milwaukee.
Okay, who's 3?
Boston. Or Miami.
But for Boston, Kemba's not back till after the new year, so he's off for a home minute. So they started Marcus.
Boston is.
But Tatum's gonna elevate.
But
Boston, I have them being like 4th seed again.
I'm not a believer.
So I'm saying I got like you. I got Milwaukee 1, Nets 2, Miami 3.
Boston.
But Philly.
I got
man.
Miami 1.
Philly's
Boston
there
2,
too.
Milwaukee 3.
How about Philly?
Nah,
You think they're
Philly?
Boston over
You don't think they're
Philly
nice?
might be 4, 5, 6.
Remember, Doc's there too now.
I don't care. Yo, I used to believe in Doc, man. But
After
Doc,
this year,
I don't know, man. I don't know,
Before
man.
we go into that, because I'll translate to the West. So you said, what did you say? Milwaukee 1. We got what?
No,
Milwaukee?
I didn't say Milwaukee.
You have Nets 1. But okay, Milwaukee Nets 1 and 2. That's for all of us. It's the same.
No.
Right? Huh? You
He
said
has
Nets?
Milwaukee.
Because
like,
I have the Heat 1.
Oh, okay. So for you, it's Milwaukee. It's Brooklyn, Miami,
Yeah, Brooklyn, Miami, then Milwaukee.
then Milwaukee 3. Okay,
Then
so
Boston.
we have Brooklyn, Miami, and New York all in the
As a
top
matter of
3.
fact, I may even put Miami above Brooklyn.
But okay, but our top 3
But,
is
yeah.
all Brooklyn, Miami, Milwaukee. Okay?
Yeah,
So
yeah,
we
yeah,
got
yeah.
that. Now,
Okay.
what do you have for 4? 4, I have either Boston or Philly.
I have Boston 4.
I have Boston.
I have
You have
Raptors.
Boston 4. I got Boston 4 too.
No.
You got
I
Raptors 4?
I put Raptors above Boston and Philly.
The same Boston that they
Hell,
almost struggled with Daniel.
No, it's because
Yeah.
Boston though is because Kemba's out for a long time.
Kemba's gonna be out, and on
I
top
don't
of that,
care.
on top of that,
I don't care,
Boston
though.
has
Tatum's
issues
gonna rise.
with Boston. Oftentimes has issues.
He's
with,
already risen
with
2
pecking
inches. He
order.
will rise with his elevation of basketball.
Like, I feel like Boston would be way better if they just let Jason Tatum be the number 1 option. You see what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
he's gonna be
And
there
just-
when Kemba's out.
And just made it clear. Hey, you are the number 1.
I
But
agree with
Daniel,
you.
we're gonna
We-
see him
we
snap.
follow you.
now
But
that
he's-
And
Kemba's
I
out.
would say that he would, but the problem is that that team,
No, Kemba's not.
they have too much confusion with guys
No,
on who's
Tatum and
number
Jalen
one.
Brown are
Yeah,
good though.
Tatum-
At least Gordon Hayward isn't there, which I think will actually improve.
No,
All the confusion
what you're
comes
saying
from
is
the point guard
correct.
role.
What you're saying is correct, but this is why Tatum elevated to being an all-star this year because Kemba was out.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Tatum was like 20 points.
And that's when he was
Then when
going
Kemba
out.
went out, that's when he snapped. He killed Kawhi and PG.
But Kemba's coming back though.
No, he's out though for the majority of the season. Like he's
Yeah.
out for the first. That's when
Till,
he has a
like,
knee issue.
February.
He's out till like that's why people were saying they drop off, and I'm saying this cap. Tatum's gonna elevate again. The same thing he was doing when Kemba was out last time.
So who's their number 2 point guard?
Right now, Smart is starting at the 1, then Teague is off the bench. Jeff Teague is there now.
I choose the Raptors over them to be real.
No, that's okay.
If that's the case, if they have Jeff Teague and Smart starting at point guard, I might put Philly at 4 then over Boston.
Marcus Smart is
I don't
PG.
believe in
Yeah,
Philly.
Marcus Smart is
I don't
PG.
trust
You
that.
don't like that?
I don't believe in Philly. The reason why I don't believe in Philly is because Philly isn't one of those teams that I can count on them
I don't
to
believe
beat
in them
Philly every single game. The
Yeah, they'll
Raptors,
change.
regardless of whether the Raptors win, lose, or draw, almost every single game I can count on the Raptors to be the Raptors.
They're consistent.
I know you're gonna give me the effort.
Yeah.
I know you're gonna play
Like
defense.
Yeah.
I can expect a certain
Yeah,
amount of
man.
points from certain guys,
Mm.
and they might have off games here or
Yeah,
there,
yeah, yeah.
but somebody else is gonna step up.
Mm.
Philly, I don't know what I'm gonna get from Embiid.
At all.
I don't know what I'm gonna get from Ben Simmons.
Mm.
I don't know what I'm gonna get from Tobias. I'm not a believer.
They have Steph Curry
Okay,
down low too.
That's a.
They might
I
get-
still am not a
probably-
believer. You see what I'm saying? That's a team. That's a team that's gonna be like 16.
Dwight Howard there too.
You see what I'm saying? They have issues with focus.
That's fine.
They have issues with
And play
focus.
style. That's why for me, I don't really ever choose it. They already have a play style clash, so that's the reason why they're so inconsistent. Because when you have something that's already a deficiency or already doesn't mesh, it's gonna have its good days and it's gonna have its bad days. Always, you'll never ever be solid consistently, and that's what the issue is. That's why I'm saying they just to get rid of one of them. They're not. It's not the era of Penny and Shaq.
Who-
Difference was Penny and Shaq. Shaq wasn't shooting threes.
Who would you rather
Embiid
keep?
is forced to shoot threes, so it's different.
Who would you rather keep between the two?
Who would I keep between the two? I would keep Embiid and I would get like a Booker, a Harden.
exactly.
I could get other like killer play style guys.
You can get someone with Ben Simmons.
Ben Simmons, if I keep Ben Simmons, I'm gonna have to redirect
tough.
my whole
You're
team
gonna
to
have
be
to have
like
a
Giannis.
LeBron team.
Exactly. I'm gonna have to
my
redirect my whole team.
My issue is though with Embiid is his
Longevity.
he's too injury prone,
Injuries.
right? So
Glass.
I don't know. If,
No, but I'm not.
especially when
Okay,
his-
so let me give context. Sorry. For me, when I mean keep, I'm keeping like I need to win in the next like 3-4 years. That's what I'm looking at. I'm not looking like long term.
Yeah. Then obviously Embiid would make more sense, but at the same time, Embiid, for me, I really struggle putting stock in guys that I question their discipline. You see what I'm saying? If I question your discipline, then to me, you can be a really good player, but you're not ready to be the leader of the team yet. You know what I'm saying? Like Dennis Robinson might be very, very talented at what he does in terms of rebounding.
You mean David?
No, I'm talking about Dennis.
Dennis Rodman.
Dennis Rodman. My fault. Dennis Rodman might be very talented. Right? Dennis Rodman might be very talented in terms of rebounding, but you can't have him as a captain of your team because he's too unstable. He lacks discipline, and the whole ranking is going to follow suit. Right? Mm-hmm. I actually truly believe in that. When you have a team like the reason why I put the Heat so high is because Jimmy will keep everyone in line. The reason why I'm going to put Phoenix when we talk about the West so high is because Chris Paul will keep everybody in. There's a reason why you see teams with the most disciplined guys who are also talented that are always at certain spots. Right? That's why Westbrook didn't want to play with Harden. Because Westbrook goes about his stuff militant. He's serious about his all the time. He's not loosey goosey. You know what I'm saying? And that's the reason why even when Westbrook had everybody taken off of his team, he can still make his team go to playoffs. Why? Because they all have that discipline, right? That they know what their role is. They know what they're here to do. They're not here to mess around. They're not here to play games, right? Because there's accountability. Embiid, he doesn't bring that, at least as far as what I've heard and what I've seen.
And he's emotional.
And I don't know. I don't know about the leadership in terms of Boston either. I've seen them really high. I've seen them really low. And I've seen too much margin of you're up here and all of a sudden you're down here and then you're up here and then you're all the way down here. Like you should either be starting low and then progressing and getting better as the season goes on.
That's the issue with Boston. Is too much alike players.
Yeah, exactly. And
it conflicts.
Young.
Exactly.
It's not just being young.
I feel like
young is part of it. It's not just. It's the problem is like you have Kemba who's trying to score, Tatum is trying to score, Jaylen Brown is trying to score, and then Gordon Hayward is trying to score. So it's always like
no one wants to accept.
Sometimes,
Kyrie ran into the issue.
There's no hierarchy. Exactly. That's what people don't understand.
And they blame that nigga for no.
And they blame Kyrie, but they don't understand it. The real team. This is why reason why the Lakers worked is you have hierarchy, and that's why the Clippers didn't work. All of that type of stuff, which we'll discuss, but it's hierarchy. You have AD, LeBron, and everybody else, and that was the battle with Kuzma. Kuzma wasn't trying to be in everybody else, and then finally he had to be humbled and be in everybody else. So that's what LeBron rewarded. They rewarded.
So for me, I'm taking all of that. I'm taking all of that into consideration. I'm not just thinking about on paper who has the most talent.
Yeah. No, I know. My only thing for Embiid is I'm thinking Embiid is part of his lack. Embiid is similar to a Shaq, right? In terms of when I mean, and even Bynum has some of this too, where they thrive if they're not happy if it's not going the way they want it to go. So when Shaq is not getting the ball, and that was part of the feud with Kobe, regardless, even if he doesn't want the ball or has the ball or not, he's to A, Y, X to Z, he's doing it. He's coming in the gym disciplined, he's still grinding, but Shaq, if he's not getting the ball, and you know what I'm saying, and stuff like that, he's not in the game. His mind, exactly, his mental, he's not there. He won't play defense as well. He won't block shots. Exactly. He needs to. It's like Bynum. That's why you see Bynum. That's why Kobe will give Bynum the ball. When Bynum's going to work, he gets 10 blocks and he's killing. Embiid is like that. When he's getting the ball, that's the difference. He's one of those scoring type of players, like Valanciunas, stuff like that. He's like that. So the thing is, if Embiid is now getting in his own place, he doesn't want to be at 3-point line all the time. Yes, he's there. I promise you, he doesn't want to beat her. But Ben Simmons needs the paint, so he has to beat her sometimes. So he doesn't want to beat her. So now, if I'm not saying Embiid to be a team where it's just him and everybody else. I'm saying you have him and Harden, right? You have him and Harden, so it's like.
Well, that's a different conversation.
Exactly. So that's what I'm looking at. So that's what I'm saying. If I'm releasing Simmons, I'm keeping Embiid, in the grand scheme of I'm getting the next guy who has talent to, or Embiid and Booker. That was, for me, was ideal. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm looking at. That's where it's, bruh. See? You already know. That's what I'm looking. That's what Embiid needs. A score, but I can do me. I don't need to be at the same time.
Again. When I look at the greats, you know what I'm saying? It's rare that I look at a game and I'm like, yo, what happened to this guy?
Yeah,
Embiid, that happens way too often. So I just don't. I don't trust it.
Yeah.
I don't trust it.
You don't trust the process. Trust
because you're healthy.
Yeah.
And you scored 2 points. Listen, even if you look at LeBron, right? And I'm not a LeBron fan. I will be the first person to tell you that, right? A bad game for LeBron. At the end of the day, he scored what? 20 points, 21 points.
Good.
You know what I mean?
Buckets regardless.
Yeah.
He still dropped 22.
At minimum 18.
Yeah.
But usually at minimum actually like 20.
And that's even a
shooting
bad.
7 for
That's a
7
bad
for
game. He still had seven
7
rebounds.
10 assists.
You know,
Yeah.
and that's a bad game.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what the Jordans do, right? That's what the Kobe's do. That's what the Shaquille O'Neal's do. They don't do 2 points. Like Jordan literally was sick.
Yep.
The man was sick.
And another grown man had to
And
hold him on the court.
He still didn't disappear. Like how you're just so. Some games you're like you look like you're maybe the best player in the NBA. In other games,
His drop off is
like what happened?
So we got so the West. What we got in the West?
Lakers.
What's the order?
Ooh.
People think the Clippers are dropping off. That's
Clippers
cap.
are dropping hella off.
No, they're not. That's cap.
I think Lakers.
The
Clippers
Clippers are gonna actually elevate. People don't understand what Ibaka's gonna do for them. That's what they don't understand. People don't understand.
I think it's
Harkless?
beyond that. I think there's a lot of chemistry stuff.
West is tough. Man.
Yes, but this is what you understand. With the Clippers, let me bring this point. So the Clippers, people don't understand play style issues. When you have Zubac and you have what's his name? You have Zubac and then you have what's his name? Montrez, who can't shoot. You have 2 men who can't shoot at your 5 at all times. So now double team Kawhi. That's what helped them thrive with the Raptors. When you try and double team him, mans can shoot. So Ibaka being there to play the 5, now that mans can shoot, you can't double Kawhi. Kawhi himself. Kawhi by himself, with Paul George playing atrocious, already went up 3-1. And they lost because why? We can double team you now because Trez can't shoot and da. So you can't do that. So even if PG plays bad, you have a Ibaka who can splash.
But the issue is with the Clippers in terms of seeding. It's kind of hard to seed them because
they were
never
second
know.
seed. They were second seed even with Fugazi.
No, I'm saying in terms of predicting because before I think that their bench was overall stronger. So even if they're resting Kawhi or they're resting Paul George, the bench would still be able to carry.
That doesn't change though.
I don't think that Ibaka can carry.
The bench is the same.
Off the bench.
Yeah, the only piece they lost was Harrell, basically.
Yeah, but that was.
They still have Morris.
That was the 1-2 punch.
They still have
Harrell, and it was
Lou
Williams.
Yeah.
So Montrezl Harrell is not there. Ibaka cannot do what Harrell did.
That's cap.
Okay.
Did you see what blow?
Watch Ibaka averaged only 3 less points than Harrell because they just force fed Harrell in the paint.
But that's situational though. Ibaka's getting the ball when he's open and then he's splashing. Ibaka's getting ball off of pick and pop. You can actually just give Harrell the ball.
That's cap. When you just give Harrell the ball and he goes to work.
What do you mean? You can give it to the ball on the clock.
All they did was go pick and roll with Trez and what are you talking?
Yeah,
they
but
never. Once in a blue moon, Trez will get it in the pick and roll, and then he'll do his he blow by and one.
Yeah, that's not once in a blue moon.
Yes, it was once in a blue moon.
That's a arsenal.
No, it's once in a blue moon. He literally is getting it to pick and roll, but the roll didn't work, so he got it, and now it's face up.
Ibaka had game winners. Ibaka last season. Ibaka averaged almost 40% from 3, scored 16 points on 50% from the field, and was still giving you a block and like 5 or 6 rebounds.
He did the exact same stats as Harrell, but literally just 3 less points.
Yeah, but stats for themselves don't speak for themselves.
I would take Ibaka over Harrell in my own book personally.
And then also, exactly, he's a rim protector. He's not going to get abused in the. Jokic ate Montrez for food. And then they were asking Doc Rivers, why is this guy playing all these minutes when they looked at the plus minus and they saw that Zoo was doing way better? He's like, Trez is better. Trez is better. You know? And that's what they were saying. And the difference is this time around, what did Ty Lue said? He's going to run triangle. So now it alleviates them having a point guard.
They're going to run the triangle offense now. So that's one thing that came out. They're going to run the triangle offense. So now, Pat Bev, Lou Will, obviously ball handling, whatever the case. Now you're in the triangle. It's less production of the point guard. The point guard is most likely playing like back screen, like Fisher coming off, he's just there to set up. So you run the triangle where you create movement, you create a type of system that if you get doubled, you can pass to this guy or whatever the case is. Like there's a perfect movement.
So
there.
where do you put them?
So this is what I have. For a lot of people are saying,
but Kawhi was not looking the greatest.
His pre, he never looks the greatest in pre. Not even one time Kawhi's like, oh, he's looking nice in pre. Like, even in the bubble. When the bubble first started, he was looking ugly.
He was looking ugly.
But then once playoffs started, he was killing. People got it twisted. Even though they lost 3-1, Kawhi was eating except the last game. That's what people don't understand. And now I roasted him because I'm like, that should not happen to you. It's the biggest important game. You're on this level. Snap out of it. But regardless, he was eating. But now he's getting double team fatigue and all this type of stuff. They stopped the whole season, and Kawhi had the same injury. The way those injury is, once you get warm and you're in it with those chronic knee injuries, you can't just stop, halt, and then restart. You have to get back into the flow to have your knees good again. So he's now fatigued with all. That's why I never seen him huff and puff like that ever in my life. Kawhi at all mans. Kawhi's a robot. The way he was huffing and puffing, his lips are drier than ever.
No, Kawhi, please bring Vaseline to the game.
Dry lip Kawhi eats. That's part of it. Dry lip.
It's not look like outbreak. He eats powdered donut, bro. Relax.
So long as the strawberry filling on that stuff.
Yeah,
that looks like he enjoys snacking on baby powder. Come on, bro. Your mouth is white. Your mouth, how could you let your mouth be white like that, bro?
Hello, white.
Dog, and you drink water on the sideline and your mouth is white like
his lips.
Like you haven't drank all week, bro. Come on.
No, but I have the Clippers. This is what I have. I have the 40 days and 40 nights. I have the same. I have the same Lakers at the top. Lakers number 1. The reason why I have Lakers number 1 is just because they have young guns and just the way it is. They have hierarchy.
The pieces they
have hierarchy. They look solid.
Chemistry,
right?
all that.
They look solid. They're number 1 seeds still. That don't change, right? Obviously, the only difference that now I might say they might not be number 1 is because they have a quicker turnaround in NBA history final. So LeBron might wrestle 1-2 more games. 80, you never know. But the only good thing I can say about it is that you have 2 6-man of the year candidates that could actually put in work, right?
They're going to work.
So regardless, they can offset that. They can offset that.
LeBron wants to repeat so bad.
They can offset that. So I know they'll be number 1 seed. I still have the Clippers number 2 seed. Nothing changed with that.
Not me.
I have Clippers number 2 seed. Then I have the Nuggets 3 and 4, Nuggets 3 and Suns 3 and 4. That's what I have. People are like, the Suns. People are in for a rude awakening.
I have the Suns number 2.
I love it.
How about Portland?
I have the Suns.
Portland. I have at so let me go through my list. So I have Lakers, Clippers, Nuggets, and I'll give Nuggets the 3rd, and I'll give Suns 4. Right. Then I have 5 and 6 is maybe Utah. 5, 6, 7 is Utah, Portland, Orlando. However they slice. Orlando, my fault. I said Orlando. What's my brain? Utah, Portland, and Mavericks. That's what I meant to say. My fault. Just blew.
Yeah,
Mavericks. So that's what I meant to say. Luka and that. But Porzingis is injured from maybe half the year or something.
Oh, it's alright.
Because he tore his. Remember in the fight in the playoffs?
Yeah.
He tore. So that's why I'm like, okay. Because Portland was Porzingis was
Did you
playing
say
majority.
Memphis?
I didn't say Memphis. Memphis, I would still have Memphis, New Orleans. They're still like fighting for 8, 9, right? Memphis, Oh, I even forgot about Golden State. God.
Yo, that West is loaded, bro.
Golden State.
So sorry, and even Houston. I forgot about Houston. My God.
Jeez.
The West is massive.
Let me think.
All right, let me go. One.
Yeah.
Bloodbath.
Let me think. That's right.
Number 1.
Those bare teams to remember. That's
Number 1, and I go off the heart. You know what I mean? I go off of the
Daniel.
Number 1, I'm saying Lakers, but really my heart is saying Phoenix. But I want to give them a year first. Let me just see it. You know what I mean? Number 2, I have Phoenix. If Chris Paul can take a Fugazi team and bring them to the 4th seed? There is no
All-Star.
way.
He was All-Star.
Yo, what y'all need to understand is DeAndre Ayton is about to look like he's about to look like he's actually watch what I say. And all you're gonna hate in the comments and all of you are wrong.
Tell me.
Watch this year, they're gonna argue about whether DeAndre Ayton is a top 3 center in the league.
I can roll that.
Watch. Because what people don't understand is, watch, when you give Chris Paul an athletic big, he makes them look as if, first of all, you give Chris Paul any big, he makes them look 10 times better than what they actually are.
Yeah.
But you give him an athletic big,
Who can shoot.
and that's the problem. Because DeAndre Ayton actually has moves, right? Blake Griffin, and don't get me wrong, Blake Griffin used to be my favorite player. Remember that, right? Because he was so dynamic in terms of like how athletic he was, punching on everybody. Do you see what I'm saying? But DeAndre Ayton, you see Chris pass DeAndre Ayton in the paint, and DeAndre will just turn around and do a right-handed hook or a left-handed. Blake didn't have that.
Up and under.
You see what I'm saying? I never seen Chris Paul with somebody who you can actually give the man a rock in a favorable position when they're not just wide open, and they still gonna get buckets. So DeAndre Ayton is gonna look like an absolute monster with Chris Paul on the team. Devin Booker is gonna finally be able to not have to try to be the point guard and the shooting guard at the same time. He can just tap into the Mamba mentality and just destroy man. And the way he just don't let the game be close. Don't let the game be close. I'm telling you, do not let the fourth quarter come and you just have a 5-point lead. Because Chris Paul and Devin Booker will eat you alive. I promise
Chris
you.
Paul
Put him in the coffin.
I think he was top 3. He was the
number
leader,
one.
fourth quarter points.
Dog, I'm telling people don't understand, and this is what people don't understand. I heard a wise man once say, "In the crunch time, I trust mine." Okay? I seen it.
Let me give him the.
I seen it. You know what I mean? I seen it with my own eyes. Yo, the closing on that team is going to be ridiculous. On top of that, you have a bunch of guys that play good defense, that are solid role players, 3-and-D guys. That team, and what's worse is at the beginning of the season, teams are not going to be taking them as seriously as they should be,
and it's going to be
which means that they're going to have a surge. They might have a while where they're actually the first seed, and then after when people adjust to them or whatever.
They even did that without Chris Paul.
They're actually who I was envisioning the Raptors to be.
Yeah. Be mediocre, and then all of a sudden you get star power, and then you just.
I'm telling you. So I have
Phoenix 2.
Lakers 1. I have Phoenix 2. I have Clippers 3. I have Nuggets 4.
Who's on Nuggets?
It's the same. Jamal Murray, but they're talking about a trade for Harden. They're talking about a trade for Harden.
But they have bare pieces.
They're gonna trade. They're thinking of trading Harden for I think it's Bobo, Murray,
Porter Jr.
and they said Porter Jr. too.
They didn't say Bobo. They said Porter Jr.
No, they said Bobo. I saw Bobo in it too.
If I'm Houston,
I would do it for Bobo and MPJ. I would do it for Bobo, MPJ, and maybe two picks.
If they get Harden, they elevate even more.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure. But the only real issue is
there's 3 guys that need the ball now.
The question is he willing to change because this is the thing. What people don't realize about Harden is Harden can play differently.
He can. He has.
When he was on OKC,
even pre D'Antoni, when he was with Howard, and whatever.
But the thing is that,
but that's 8 years ago.
The thing is that now he's so used to playing like however he feels like. And on top of that, he's filthy rich. So it's like.
But the thing this is the misconception with Harden. Harden didn't play like this until when Chris Paul was injured, and he was forced to play. Like he was supposed to snap. And remember those days, that's when he got 40 every month. He averaged 40 for a month. But so he was doing it out of necessity. So then now when Chris Paul came back and they've been winning, they won on streaks and they were winning. So now when Chris Paul came back and then this is the way we've been winning, it's hard to tell a man with that same roster to now play differently.
Right, but if men are always constantly leaving you.
No, I'm saying now he's at a point, that's why he wants a fresh new start and he was demanding out. He's demanding out because clearly I think he actually wants to play differently. Because he's been saying I don't want. That's why he knows in Houston I have to play this way.
So I don't know, man. We'll see, man.
With the Nuggets, you better know that's Jokic. He's the facilitator. He's the offense.
Yeah, he has to come off
so
screens.
He's got to come off screens and adjust himself because that's what Jokic is going to be doing.
I don't know. I feel like Harden, he's so far gone.
That's why I also see that too.
Because he's got MVP, he's got so many money.
Like, how do you to tell a
And he
man
has too
all the
much money now.
accolades and the
Yeah,
money
it's
that
on his
he's
head.
racked?
That's
like,
true.
He has too much money.
It didn't even work with his own boy. His own boy could.
Exactly.
He has way too
But
much
that's
money.
with the Houston team, though. That's what. That's my
Yeah,
only.
but he has too much
my
money.
only thing.
You see, when you have that kind of money that he has, you know,
No one
The
can-
man's
Wasn't
at
it-
950,
wasn't it
50,
a man called Kanye West who once said, "Ha ha, you can't tell me nothing."
can't tell him
So what
anything.
Daniel
Okay.
Cause?
I'm telling you, Harden is at that place in his life where unless I truly believe unless he actually feels that this team could potentially win the chip,
He's not doing
if he changes the way that he plays, it's not gonna.
Daniel
he's
will
not gonna
never
change.
change the way he'll play.
Bro, he was with his best friend and he even changed his behavior to not miss meetings, to not be coming to the trips on late and all that
Yeah,
stuff.
but
That's
why
why
would
hard.
he
That's
change
why
his behavior.
That's why Westbrook's like, I'm out of here. This
No.
guy's not professional.
But the thing is, if Harden went to Westbrook's team,
Yes,
it would make sense for him to do that.
That's the only.
Westbrook
benefit
is
I
coming
give
to
him.
Harden's team,
Exactly.
where Harden's been doing
But
this.
Harden has
and-
kept the lights on over there. You get what I'm saying?
Do you see
They're
what I'm
the
saying?
only
I
team.
pay the bills in
Pay
this
the
arena.
bills.
They're
I
the
know.
only team that's made the playoffs. He's the only player,
That's true.
even LeBron, that's made the playoffs 8 straight years.
That's
Even
fact.
LeBron
That's
has missed the
what I'm
playoffs.
saying, which
So
is-
no, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying if he's to stay in Houston and you give him new players, he's not going to change the way he's playing in Houston. So
And
that's
the
why
way that
if he
he's
goes
acting
somewhere
is
else,
not-
that whole
I don't know, man.
stuck up and whatever he is has to remove because he's entering a brand new
He can't
system,
do
We'll
it.
see,
a
man.
brand new
He might be
scenario.
the
That's
Antonio
the-
Brown of the
said we don't
NBA,
want
but we'll
you.
see what
That's why
happens.
he pulled out of the deal.
No, it's probably what they're asking for. Even
Bro,
let's talk about the Raptors.
Harden at the
Raptors-
on Heat with his overweight self. Come on, bro, it's not gonna work.
Harden shaped
But
shit.
people like that's for Houston just
I
wants a
agree
lot.
with you.
Obviously, you have Harden. Harden at the end of the day, no matter
That's
what
true.
you say about him,
Top 5.
he's been an MVP candidate, a top 2 MVP candidate
Yeah.
for the last
5.
6 years.
Which is
Yeah.
why he's not going to change his style.
That's what I'm saying. I'm saying if he goes to a different situation, he will.
He
But
won't.
he might. You know what I'm
He
saying?
might.
Sup. He might.
I
That's what
think
I'm
he'll
saying.
destroy
I
the
think he
chemistry.
will.
That's
okay.
a capital M on Mike.
Nah,
Exactly.
he's not going
But
to.
all I'm saying is, regardless,
I
Houston
think
knows
he
that
will.
this guy he's worth.
He
You know,
is.
like he's worth something. You
Mhm.
got not no OG, all Raptors fans, Pascal. You know, no,
We actually have no
declined that.
The Raptors don't have anything.
have
Like,
no
they
money.
said
Well, that's
the,
what I
the
was
Nets
saying.
offered the whole team. They said we want KD and Kyrie.
Yeah.
In fact, we prefer KD. That's what
Yeah.
they said.
And you think
So
we have
and then
something
that's
to offer?
then that said we declined.
Yeah.
yeah.
And you think we have something to offer?
Like the man,
We don't
Even
have
if we
anything.
emptied our whole roster.
Yeah.
We could give them our entire arena.
Yeah.
We do in Canada.
Wouldn't be enough.
and
We'll
the
play outside.
banner, and
We
the
said we'll play
banner,
outside.
That's what I'm
and the
saying.
banner.
We'll give them the logo.
They can give them the
our
ring,
arena.
and it's not enough.
That's what I hate about
They can
Raptors
have Drake
fans. They're
too.
so delusional.
I
Even
know.
from the Giannis thing to the Harden
And,
thing.
and then you get create stress.
Then
We're
and
not
you
getting
get
free agents, bro.
Stop it.
You have to understand, like, mans could really choose between. Have you ever been to Florida?
Los Angeles.
Have
And
Have you
you're
ever
born
been
in the
to-
States.
you
Oh
ever
my
been to
goodness.
these places, bro?
Yeah.
And then
When
you
you
go to
come back
Toronto.
home?
Are you in Toronto right now?
You come back home
Bro, like, mans don't want to have to drive in the snow.
where your ass cheek.
Shovel snow.
And this is not. It would be one thing if you're in New York,
Yeah.
but it's Toronto, and we love Toronto, but nobody else does. You see what I'm saying? So
Not enough to come.
Drake
here,
tried to put us on the map, but it's not enough for
It's
NBA.
not enough.
Nah,
Even
you
Drake
guys,
don't live
you
here
guys
no
are
more.
capping. They like Toronto.
They like
They
Toronto.
don't want
It's
to
just
play.
not enough.
They're
Yeah,
not.
it's
It's not
to play.
enough. You know the
There's
culture
too much
shock.
negative.
Yeah.
There's too
But
much
that's what I
negative.
mean. They don't
People
like it
actually
enough
like the
to
city.
live here.
Yeah,
Yeah, there you
different.
go.
There you go. They don't like it enough.
They don't
to
like
live.
it enough
Yeah.
to live
They
here.
like it, like they love it to
Temporary
A
come.
lot of players'
residency.
mouths. Lou Williams has said
Yeah,
this.
because there's too
It's-
much
it's
negatives. The
bigger
taxes,
people.
you got customs. They're U.S. born players at the end of the day. So like it's
For-
hard. It's
And
just
the
a
winters
disconnect.
are long.
For instance,
How about
if Toronto was in the States, I'm guaranteeing you people rather play in Toronto than Bucks.
Yeah, 100%.
Oh,
100%.
yeah.
But-
Or most of those cities.
Or
Detroit,
Utah, something
dilapidated
like
places.
Or
Oklahoma.
that racist one
The
in
racist
Utah,
country is
the
Utah,
Oh, Utah. Oh my
that.
god.
Also,
So we didn't finish. So you said you have Utah at sorry. I was saying my fifth my between 5, 6, and 7. I was saying Mavericks. I said Mavericks or Utah or Portland, but then there's also Houston. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't know what they're doing with Houston. I don't know if Houston's
After
gonna be
4,
I don't.
It's chaos.
It's chaos.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
After
Yeah,
four is
that's
chaos.
facts. You can't
Anybody
call
who
it.
even tries to
You can't
predict,
call it.
You
Yeah.
can't call it.
there's no way.
And remember, there's Golden State. There's Golden State. Golden State. People who think Golden State is gonna be Fugazi,
Exactly.
you're in for a rude awakening. They still have Steph.
If Clay was
Wiseman
there,
is still a problem, right?
Yes.
Like, we don't know how he's the place, how he's gonna play, but regardless,
Wiggins
you still have
is looking
Draymond who has high
No, that
IQ. No
doesn't mean
matter
anything.
what,
That doesn't
even
mean
though it don't mean nothing, his
Doesn't mean
IQ is
anything.
high.
Trade him!
No, you're capping.
Trade Draymond?
You're capping.
what?
No, I've been saying since time.
You're capping.
Draymond doesn't do anything.
You're not a Warriors
What?
fan. You are not a Warriors fan.
I don't care what you say.
You're.
It doesn't matter what the people
Did you
say.
see what?
You can't
Do you know Draymond?
He's like
Draymond,
the
you know-
glue,
hold on,
the
hold on.
glue.
Do you know Draymond in the game 7 had the most points and average and had a triple double?
I don't
Which is
live
why
in
he
the
went
past.
outside and
But
said,
Daniel, you
"See,
also
no,
don't-
you
have to
forget Portland
remember
series.
what
What have you done for me?
But you have to remember
recently.
what Draymond does for that team. When
Yeah.
all of them are in a slump, who's the one waking their inner beast up?
Exactly, it's
Yeah.
Draymond.
It's Draymond.
He's the actually Jimmy Butler for their
He's
team.
literally
Then-
like,
I'm
nigga,
actually
you
hurt.
better wake the fuck up.
I'm actually
Yeah, there's
hurt.
other people who could do that.
What? Yeah.
I'm actually hurt. I'm
Especially
actually
when you have a
Draymond,
Wiggins, you need someone
dog.
to wake him up.
Draymond,
Nah, he will
You
shake.
know-
how are you spending more time in the league? And every year that you're in the league, you're worse than you were the year before.
Daniel, you're disrespectful.
I'm telling you, the man is brick
No,
city.
I'm gonna expose you right now.
Brick
I'm gonna
City.
expose you right now. You're looking at Draymond individually. You know Steph Curry's and Steph Curry without Draymond. You know that, right?
100%.
You know that, right?
Steph Curry's not Steph Curry.
The screens he sets, the playmaking. But Draymond averaged the most assists on that team, not Steph.
100%.
Don't get it twisted.
And guess what? It's within the system of the offense. All you have to do is pass the
You're
ball
forgetting-
to where the man
no,
is
that's
supposed to
cap.
run to.
That's
Anybody
cap.
can do that.
That's cap.
No.
Let me explain to you. This is
No,
what you know. You
no.
have it. You got it twisted.
Transition.
Look at
every-
this. Hold on. You got it twisted.
Hurts.
Steph Curry was there. Remember, Steph Curry wasn't the Steph Curry until Draymond got elevated, and they said, you know what? We're not doing David Lee no more
We're
because
trusting
David
him.
Lee started. Remember,
Yeah.
remember they had Steph. Steph was still getting maybe 21, 22 points. He wasn't doing the 30 points per game. He was still like it's Steph, but it's not like it's Steph.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
Hold on, didn't Steph have that game in
I'm
New
even-
York
I'm pulling
before Draymond came?
What are you
When he
talking
dropped like 51 points in
No,
New York.
Draymond was
Yeah,
there.
he dropped 51.
Draymond was there.
That was a game he dropped 51, but that was an
Don't you remember when Curry was
Yeah,
shimmy and then Draymond had his hand like this and Curry
And that was
said,
even
"Nigga,
an
make sure I watch your hand."
Yeah, even then. Hold on.
He walked right by his hand and then Draymond went.
That was even an anomaly. I'm about to expose you right now.
Draymond
I'm about to
elevated
expose
that
you right
team.
now.
Draymond,
You
he's
actually-
in the
Steph Curry
rebounds.
brought- So how much of that is
Blocks,
because
assists.
Draymond came and how much of that is
I'm
because
about to
Steph
do.
was a young boy?
Bruh.
What?
Scott, there's a complete different system. The Steph system doesn't get implemented if they don't have a Draymond. You need a passing power forward. For Steph to relocate back
Half
to
of the plays
What
come
do you
from
mean?
Draymond
Draymond's
catching
a
in the post.
facilitator.
Draymond was catching the post and
Look
he'll
at
be
this.
giving
He's
dimes to
replaceable.
cut in man. Open down here, down screen this way.
You think Draymond is replaceable?
He's very
By
replaceable.
who? Who's replacing Draymond Green?
If Pascal is replaceable, Draymond Green.
Look at this.
Wow.
For his career, for Steph's career, even averages 24 points. So it's not even like he's had bare seasons averaging. That's what I'm trying to show you. His first year in the league, 17.5. Next year, 18.6. The 1 year he got injured, so it's 14.7. The 1 year he was good, he averaged 23. See, 23 points, 24 points, then 24 points, then 30. Why is there a jump? Draymond is there. That's why there's a jump.
Because he has experience.
Oh, you're erasing them. You're unforgetting. Remember, that's why
Listen,
they say
Draymond was way better back in the day.
What?
Draymond today
that's
is not
I
as
don't
good
care
as he
about
was
it.
back
He had
then.
0 points and impact the game
Yeah.
in a reckless
His
way.
He's
impact-
the only man to have a
His-
triple double with
His
not 10
impact
points.
actually supersedes his talent.
He can
Draymond
actually have
Green
0 points
is
and
The
still
only
be one of
person
the
in
most.
NBA
And
history
you'll
to have a
still
triple
say
double.
Draymond killed it.
Did you
Draymond,
hear what I said?
I'm not a believer.
He's the only man in NBA history to have a triple double with not 10 points.
like that's what he's
triple double off of what? Turnovers?
No,
No,
rebounds,
blocks,
assists,
rebounds,
and
assists.
steals.
or steals and
Listen,
like that's
I
what he
think
be
it was
doing. No points. He literally have 2 points.
That was one game.
Listen, you actually disrespectful.
No, I'm telling you, man. I don't believe in Draymond. I don't. I never have.
Because
I
you're
never
looking at him
will, bro.
you're looking at his arsenal, his
His
individual.
His Arsenal, it doesn't exist.
Oh,
Yeah,
no.
exactly.
He doesn't even have arse. He doesn't even have arse.
Daniel, individually, if you take Draymond out of the situation and look at him as an individual player, yeah, you're gonna be like, this man's nothing. But his impact that he has on Golden State is undeniable.
I understand. He's like Kyle Lowry in terms of like the motor.
You
know what I'm saying?
It's similar, but it's beyond
however,
that. It's beyond that.
What he does, I can find somebody else who is able to do the same thing.
Who?
In terms of a passing big, who's able to pass the ball.
It's special over there. I think the chemistry is special.
Look, Steph unlocked with 30 points per game. He unlocked when 20. Like, look, when Steph unlocked for 20, like he was averaging 14 and he went to 23. He went from 23 to 24 to 24 to 30. Those 3 years, that's when now Draymond was implemented. Draymond came, but he wasn't even 2012, 2013. He was off the bench. He didn't really play. He only started 1 game. But then he started when he actually fully came on the scene was 2014, 2015 when he averaged 11. 8 rebounds and 3 assists, right?
Draymond is very overrated.
When that year he came was Steph's best year.
Is Draymond an all-star?
No.
Actually, I capped. Draymond, Steph Curry when he averaged 30 his MVP year. That was the year that Draymond had his best year where he averaged 14 points, 7 rebounds, and 10 rebounds and 7 assists.
That was back when you couldn't Rondo Draymond.
No,
that was back when you couldn't be guarding Draymond for 3-point line. At the free throw line.
Are you going to listen to what I'm saying? Listen to what I'm saying. He's averaging 10 rebounds, and the main key thing, he's averaging 7 assists. 7 assists. Steph Curry is averaging, that year, is averaging 6 assists. He's averaging less assists.
So he decreased. He plays off the ball.
Exactly. So he got more unlocked due to Draymond's screen setting and playmaking.
But that has to do with the actual system that's already there.
Exactly. No, it's not already there. That's what I'm saying. It only got implemented because they now got Draymond. Yeah. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
I think the system was implemented because Steve Kerr came in with a system-minded offense, as opposed to Mark Jackson, who his offense was literally just high screen and roll.
Steve Kerr is a triangle type of player. He played in the triangle his whole life. So if anything, he would implement the triangle. He didn't implement the triangle. He
implemented aspects of it.
No, but he implemented a system that fits the play style fit the play style that they actually had, the arsenal they had on that team. Now, if they didn't have Draymond, he wouldn't have used Steph Curry that way because Steph Curry would have to be the facilitator and the scorer. But because he has Draymond, Steph can just play off ball. Don't even bring up the ball.
That's what I'm saying.
That's what I'm saying.
Draymond has the ball the most on the team at all times.
And then you now doing that now also unlocks
Why
play.
is Draymond bringing up the ball ever?
Draymond
not even inbounding the ball.
Draymond also unlocks Clay. That's what I'm trying to tell you. It's both of them.
His impact is crazy.
Just take it in. If Steph Curry just did pick and roll, remember, you'll forget too. The Steph Curry Draymond pick and roll is one of the most dangerous pick and rolls too, because now when Steph gets doubled, you pass to Draymond, and Draymond literally would play 3-on-4 and dig alley to Iguodala or go up himself, pass the Clay in the corner. Like he literally was facilitating off that pick and roll. Because any other person, you just trap Curry up the game, you reset. You can't do nothing. Like you trap Kawhi, reset. Who's doing what? But Draymond literally could facilitate. That's why he would kill Portland, averaging 20. That's why he can kill and he could unlock because his IQ. You have him and Iguodala, but mainly him because he started, has IQ. So he knows when to set the screen. He knows how to read Curry. His eyebrows raised, and he knows when to stick the bum out, hand off, or he gets it back, relocate. He's going to the corner. But no, I'm not. I'm gonna fake pass to him, pass to Clay.
He knows them too well.
Exactly. We're not even talking about his defense ability.
Exactly. I'm talking about his defense because now he unlocks him to play small ball because he can play the 5. But not only that, that's why Draymond was so furious and called KD and was calling KD all those names because he's like, this is what I do. I made a mistake that one time, but this is what I do.
And he sussed the whole
yeah, but
anyways, but regardless, we know we have all. So regardless,
KD was just like this.
I'm telling you, he sussed the whole dynasty.
Yeah.
He did. I'll give you that. He did.
So regardless, the whole time, that's what we have the Warriors at the bottom. You said what, 5 down? We have Warriors, Houston, Utah, Memphis, Mavericks, Portland. That's a bloodbath for 5 to 8.
So you guys put Lakers first. Do you think Lakers are gonna repeat?
No.
Well, what's your top 8 quickly?
My top 8. I still say 1 and 2 will be what do you call it? Lakers. 2 is rotates between Suns and Clippers for me. Because I feel like the way the Clippers are about to come into this season, they're tired of all the smack talk that's been happening. Yeah. Literally, just the way I'm seeing Kawhi's face, he doesn't care about preseason. Once it's 0-0 on everyone's season, I'm coming to kill everybody. I can just see it in his robotic eyes. The way he's moving. Paul George, that's where my trust issues rely. Dude, after he hits on the backboard, I haven't felt the same. But I feel like he's really trying. He wants to redeem himself, but I need to see it first. I can't just.
But that's the best case scenario you have him in is redeemed.
I can't. Yeah, exactly. I can't just fully dive
and
into
the
it.
audacity for him to blame it on
Doc
on
Rivers.
Doc Rivers and this, like, you
And
need
that-
accountability.
That to me is what makes me not want to
And
believe
then
that you're gonna make a difference because
You didn't own
you
up.
should have came up and you should have said, "Yo,
honestly, I hear that.
I fell short.
Yeah.
It's never gonna happen again."
Exactly.
Because that tells me now you said to yourself, you have to work on your game to make sure
And he's
that never happens. But if you
said
just
that.
blame somebody else,
Never. Dame did the
Like,
shots. What did he say? It was a bad shot. Nigga, it went in. It went in. I don't care. You didn't say I should have stepped up. I should have jumped higher. I should have fouled it. I should have nothing. Just that was a bad shot. I don't care.
Like I get him, like what he was saying with the dog. That's I even did a video on it. But my main thing for him is that if you're supposed to be that guy,
Go be the guy.
put me in any situation. I'm thriving.
okay.
That's
At
why
the end of the day, you
Katie.
have to
That's
go
why
on the
Katie is
floor.
different.
At the end of the day, you're the man who's on the court. The
If
coach
they
can only
told-
do so much.
If they told KD come off pin downs all game, he'll do it and get 50.
It's not even that.
What are you talking about?
It's for his caliber, that shit should have never.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
He's saying I want to mix up and he's blaming things on Doc. But at the end of the day, that's why KD is so different. KD was forced to play one way with Golden State, where it's like, oh, just come off this or do things you're not conventional to do. Even Westbrook. So Westbrook could thrive, play off the ball the whole time or whatever. But he's looking at it not as a you're defecting my game.
Yeah.
He's looking at it as this is a time for me to practice being elite. If
different-
I'm able to
different
be
type of
elite,
different-
if I'm able to be elite and get in 3 seconds or less decision making and be
KD
elite in
has
4,
5 different versions.
I'm gonna
of
be
himself.
unguardable. That's
But
called
but
mastering
that's what I
my
said-
craft.
But that's what I said at the beginning.
Master your craft,
That's what I
PG.
said at the beginning of the pod. You have to thrive within the role that you're assigned. On
No,
the
I'm
team.
talking about when you're high caliber. That's different. I'm talking when you're high caliber. When you're a superstar player, I'm saying if you're a superstar player, you should be able to do you regardless. If you have multiple skill sets, you can't only play be one dimensional. But anyways, you said what? You said you had Clippers too.
So Clippers or Suns alternating between 2 and 3. I'm not 100% sure. 4. There's way too many teams. 4, yeah, I'd say Denver. My top 4 is basically the same as you guys. And then
You have Golden State. That's your team.
I don't think Golden State's gonna be 4.
No, where do you have them?
I have them probably 6.
6.
Yeah, 5 or not.
It's gonna
Probably
be tough,
6.
man.
But so we all have 5 to
You
5
don't
to
have
9
it,
bloodbath between those.
Yeah,
those
because
teams. You don't know. Injuries could happen. Like we literally don't know. And then we know those 4 guaranteed teams. Well, we're saying Suns is a guarantee. That's gonna be a hot take than other people because most people don't have Suns in the bloodbath. They have Suns in the bloodbath. Most people have Lakers, Clippers, Denver, and maybe Houston or Utah. One of those, they have them in the top 4 regardless.
So what percentage or if you had to give a percentage as to the likelihood of Lakers repeating, what would you guys give them?
A percentage for the Lakers repeating?
Yeah.
I would give them
100% they're repeating, or it's like 65.
I would give them. I'll give them maybe.
I'll give them above 50.
45 to 50.
Percent?
Yeah.
I'll give them.
Oh, that's a lot. You're saying?
That's low.
I'll give them
That's
above
low?
50. I'll say 55, 60.
Out of 30 teams.
Remember, for me, you understand. I'm different. That bubble shit is. That bubble shit is cap. That bubble shit.
But at the same time, even when they're playing, the conditions that they're playing in now, like the
No,
stadiums
but it's
are empty.
but it's an arena.
It's gonna mirror more
It's an
of the
arena.
bubble.
It's there's traveling. There's still those aspects to it. You can go home to your family. You're not isolated.
But now even
I'm
the way
not
that they have
even
the
talking about-
schedule, they have it more like baseball, where instead of you're going to this place and then that place,
Also
when you
10
come
less
here,
games.
you'll play the
Yeah,
game.
but we're talking about repeating. We're talking about playoff situations. The repeat.
There's 10 less
I'm
games,
talking about
too.
regular season stuff. I'm talking about repeating. Repeating. When I'm looking at it, it's gonna be you're playing home and you have to travel to go away, whatever. Not only that, you're not in a bubble, so you're not stuck. That was the whole thing. Even with PG, the guys are going through depression because all they could go is on their phone. Even to communicate with their families on their phone, so you're just indulged in everything. As opposed to the regular, remember, routine is a lot of things for these guys.
That's what I feel like. If you could get through those hardest times and still play,
I'm listening to what I'm saying. Let me finish what I'm saying. What I'm saying is those guys, they thrived. They were better. Kudos to them. They did better than the rest. But you're playing guys who are not at the same level as you, right? They're lower tier. You were able to thrive, but the other guys you're facing aren't able to thrive. So you're facing a lower tier version of themselves. You get what I'm saying? Now when you're in a regular situation, everyone's at the routine. Everyone's on A game. You are on A game, they're on B game. because obviously it doesn't mean you're not better than that for doing that. You're obviously better than that for doing that because they're just mentally weak that they were on B game, right? So that's not a cop out to the Lakers or anything. That's an advantage for the Lakers. They were stronger. But at the end of the day, for me, like I look at it, not even just that, right? Because you have routine, everyone's able to go home. Even if you take the fan aspect out of it, obviously the fans, the majority is a big part. But the fact that just the routine, I go home, I'm with my family, I don't think about basketball, take my pregame meal, stretch, go to the routine is the same, right? This one is different. You can't go to certain arenas at a certain time because everyone's in the same arena. I can't go outside and get fresh air because I see the Lakers team right there chilling. I'm trying to talk to those niggas. Like that's what PG was saying too. It's all lottos, so you just stay in your room.
I'm giving them 65.
But hold on. Let me finish now. Now the main thing for me saying it's only 40 to 50% is because y'all were facing a 5th seed in the Miami Heat in the finals. You know what I'm saying? That should have been a sweep.
A sweep.
That's just off the seeding alone. 1 versus 5. That should have been a sweep because when Golden State was 1 versus 1, it was a sweep. They're all matched. You know what I'm saying? And that's 1 versus 1. So 1 versus 5, that's supposed to be a sweep. You know what I'm saying?
Injured.
Now, exactly. Now you add the fact that the top 2 scorers in Bam and Dragic were injured, and it's still in 6 games. Hold on. People like I was talking to other people that are like, oh no. I'm like, yo, if it goes 6 or 7 games, it's a struggle.
But
they're like, it's not a struggle.
But a part of that though, Leke, is that in all honesty, the Heat were a lot better than a 5th seed, even though they were the 5th seed.
But they are in injury now, so it's not the same. That was given if they were the same team. If you're like any team that goes into a team situation where your top 2 guys are injured, you automatically should be doing way less. Like them healthy, if it was 6 games, like people thought with them being healthy, it should even go 6 games. So now you're injured and it's still
somebody have
games?
said the same thing about Golden State when they went against the Cavs and it was Kyrie and Kevin Love.
See, that's different. For me, I have it differently. For me, Golden State was the system made them look better than what they were before KD. They only had 2 stars, which was Clay and Steph. Draymond he's a role player. Even to this day, he's a role player, but he's just an elite version of a role player. But people thought that it's a big 3 when that's cap.
They were hella deep.
Hold on. Let me finish what I'm saying. I'm just saying they thought they were a big 3, and I'm like, that's cap. You only have 2 guys who can create. Everyone else is just role player system, whatever, right? The Cavs actually had a big 3 with Kyrie, Love, and LeBron. Now you remove one of them, it's basically Steph versus LeBron. So it's still being a 6-game series makes sense because it's 2 versus 1. You get what I'm saying? Because regardless, LeBron is that type of guy. Jimmy is not supposed to be that type of guy to make it AD and Bron versus Jimmy. I know, but I'm saying just to everyone else, to the perspective.
Yeah, but I'm saying based on the actual reality of knowing who Jimmy actually is.
Yes, I get what you're saying. That's comparable too. That makes sense where it's comparable. But for me, AD and LeBron combined,
but I get
so
why
reckless.
that would make it go.
So for me, I'm hesitant because now if you're to face a healthy Nets team, in the finals, for me, as a 5th seed, that's just supposed to be either a sweep or at worst 5 games. That's not supposed like you 5 games versus the Nuggets, you 5 games versus the Rockets. Like these are elite teams. Like your 5 games versus and a team that's hindered with 1 man. You're going 6 games. That to me, now if I'm not to put that same situation with now like the Nets, right? Or now like, like an actual team that's like not hindered, like it's not guaranteed the Lakers are winning. What evidence do I have to make me say that? If anything, I have evidence that is more negative than positive. That's just my eyes looking at it.
Yeah. I think that
but 40 to 50% is still like for me it's high.
I think that the Lakers have a very strong chance to go to the finals, probably in the 65% range or so, like what you're talking about. Mm-hmm. Even though I think that they're gonna really struggle against Phoenix. Mm-hmm. I think that if they
Daniel loves the Phoenix.
I believe in closers. Mm-hmm. When playoff time comes, the most important players on your team are your closers.
Facts.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. Know that.
And I don't see who the closer is for the Lakers.
AD, basically.
Right? And AD, I don't.
You don't believe in
it. It's not all day, every day, twice on Sunday.
But even then, LeBron might say it's going to be me and I'm not going to go to him. Like, there's so much. It's out of AD's control.
What you say and what you do.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Exactly. Even if AD is guaranteed that guy, LeBron doesn't always go like LeBron wants to, I'm gonna make the right play and pass to the corner to Wes Matthews. Like it's not like it's always going to AD. Like other teams, even if it's Harden, even if it's KD or it's Kyrie, they're going to that guy every time. LeBron, like it's the same thing with his fight with Kyrie and LeBron. They didn't go to Kyrie every time.
Basketball.
Even though he was the guy.
Exactly. Like when I heard that Rondo said the final play was drawn up for LeBron,
they didn't move. Yeah.
And he got the ball past it, and he's looking at LeBron, and LeBron's not moving.
Yeah.
I don't believe in you for the finals, personally. I think that if they
clutch moments, not finals.
I think that if they have to face the Nets in the finals, I don't think that the Lakers are going to be able to beat them. But if they have to face anybody else in the finals,
you think they're going to beat them?
I think that they have at least a 50% chance. But I truly think that the Heat could beat them too, right? But those are the only two teams that I think that could beat them, either the Heat or the Nets, right? So if they somehow don't have to face those two teams, I think it's pretty much.
So what is it?
As well as with Phoenix as well. No, I think it's 60 to get to the finals. But as a matter of fact, 55 to get to the finals, because I really believe in Phoenix, like for real.
Yeah, about to repeat.
But to repeat, I'm saying like 50. I'm saying like 50.
No, so not far from me.
I'm saying
50 is still high. Like 50 is high. That means 1 out of 2. Like that's 50. So how about you? What do you have?
I said 55 to repeat.
55? Yeah. Why increase? Why 55?
I don't know. I just don't. Just the way the season is moving, I just feel like LeBron thrives when he doesn't have the pressure of like the away arenas and people going at him and all this getting into his head. Because he gets in his bag, like his bag when he doesn't have the outside atmosphere to try. He knows, when LeBron comes on the court, he knows, okay, I can do this, I can do that, I can do that. But when it comes down to clutch moments, the crowd is yelling at you, people are booing, all this stuff. LeBron, he gets pumped. The NBA Finals, perfect example on Miami. What was even on his own home court, bricks. When people are anxious, waiting for him to do something, bricks, all this stuff. But on the empty court, when there's no background noise, there's no nothing, just man's on the court.
And you have AD.
Yeah, and you have AD, you have mans that can bail you out as always. Then he has the slight advantage at all times just because of that. But I feel if he faces KD and Kyrie, I don't think he will. I don't think so.
So
the way those mans are built.
Before we end, who's the better duo, Kyrie and KD?
That's not even a question.
What do you mean? Bare people are even.
Listen,
no.
you niggas all love LeBron for it's just overboost.
No, I would say, honestly, although I think that KD and Kyrie,
KD with one Achilles,
although I think
LeBron
that
with
KD
3
and Kyrie will beat them, I think in the overall spectrum of things,
just overall,
I think that LeBron and AD are actually a better duo. But I think that KD is so good that it doesn't matter.
I feel like with LeBron and AD, if LeBron isn't producing,
AD won't produce that much.
If AD's not, whereas Kyrie, either one of them sick, you're good.
Yeah, but when I'm thinking about the duo,
you're talking about just the duo on paper.
The actual tandem,
the
right?
Tandem, the duo.
It's like, for instance, it's like this, right? When I look at Michael Jordan, if I look at Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen, technically we should be able to say that's the best duo of all time because of how much they won. But really, in my opinion, the best duo of all time is Shaq and Kobe, and it's not even close.
Yeah.
That's too neat. Okay? Because I see what the actual tandem does on the court. I don't see KD and Kyrie being able to beat Shaq and Kobe. I truly think that Lakers team with Shaq and Kobe, that tandem was so strong. I don't know of a team I've seen in my lifetime that I think would beat them in the 7 series game. Honestly.
Which is why even Shaq probably said what he said.
Before we talk about that, so you think Kyrie and KD is a better duo than AD and Bron?
We're talking about like on the court
I just
or
feel
on
like
paper.
on the court, those two can.
So when I mean
the potential, the magic, like my brain.
So when I mean duo, most times when people say duo, what they're gonna go to, they're gonna say AD and LeBron is a better duo because individually LeBron is big, is almost supposed to be competing for Jordan for best in the game, and then AD is like is competing. People are even saying he might be better than Tim Duncan, whatever the case is. And then KD is the only one on that echelon. But then Kyrie is where
they disrespect
exactly they disrespect
Kyrie.
Kyrie. So Kyrie, oh my god, a Boston blow.
They
You blew a Boston team.
People
Then that's where
forget
you were
that
worse with than
Kyrie
that.
bailed out
You know, Kyrie
LeBron.
has that negative connotation.
LeBron should only have actually. LeBron
Kyrie
shouldn't even have
literally
any
bailed
rings,
out
realistically.
LeBron for that.
LeBron has been bailed out
to
4
this day.
times.
To this day.
4 times in his career, LeBron's been bailed out.
You have
The
2
first
clutch
time-
players on one. No.
He got lucky. KD and Harden and all them niggas were not ready for the NBA Finals. He got lucky. Number 1. Number 2, Ray Allen saved his life. Number 3, Kyrie saved his life.
100%.
Number 4, if Boston beat Miami, it would not be no Lakers winning no rings. That's 4 rings that should be gonzo.
That's
I want to hear no
that's
way.
4 rings where you're like,
Yeah, like
you're
what?
not even like guaranteed.
But see, for me, it's 2 different things. I have skill set wise. Obviously, you already know.
Skill set.
Like
Yeah.
KD and Kyrie
skill
are
set.
about to be one of the most elite skill set duos of all time. Because
Probably
even
number 2.
Kobe and Shaq, there's always one person out of the duo that is limited,
yeah.
right? So Shaq, even though he's a beast, his arsenal is limited to a specific,
100%.
Not based on his position.
But I'm just saying, like centers nowadays can even shoot
And
3s.
Kyrie,
Shaq's not shooting
is
3s.
Kyrie
Can't
in
shoot
his
free throws. Like,
prime?
his limit.
Is Kyrie in his prime
He's
now?
28 now. He just entered his prime. That's why you see preseason the man's shooting efficiency even more efficient than KD. Like he's literally like,
If Kyrie was
That's like-
6'6",
bro, like
Lord
this is
have
what I'm
mercy.
saying.
I
So
know that.
individually,
I know
skill
that.
set wise, Kyrie and KD are ready. You know what I mean? But like for me, like LeBron and AD, like people are gonna go for what they've seen. They've seen like AD. People don't like AD is actually elite. Like he's literally
I
like
know.
him and KD to me,
But LeBron
like are the
Henderson.
unicorns. Like they're actually like
LeBron
80
Henderson.
80 because of LeBron doesn't even like 80 could actually do what KD's doing handle wise, but he chooses not to.
LeBron Henderson.
Like that's how elite 80 is. And you've seen in the preseason when he's coming up the court and he's doing step back, like he could do that. But the problem with playing with LeBron, you don't get to see the full 80 potential because
of
every
LeBron.
single
Yeah, LeBron
player.
hinders.
That's why I will never. This guy, 80 was killing in one game, and because
that's
of
the
stats,
finals game. Yeah,
LeBron was like, no.
And that's why it's
I
a-
gotta
Yo,
get
this
the
nigga
point.
He was
LeBron
11, he was
pisses
12
me
for
off,
13.
man.
And
This
then he
nigga
didn't pass
sees
him
that
in
he
the
can
fourth.
get
He
this
literally
triple
blocks
double, and then
people's
you
trajectory of just.
Yeah.
That's why I've never rate them.
LeBron sees that he can. He's like, 80
But in terms
snapping.
of
Let
the-
me get my triple double.
Yeah,
so I
let me
become
look
the
at
highlight.
my stats now.
In terms of the actual mesh, I can't choose KD and Kyrie
they haven't done it
as
yet.
a mesh
Exactly.
because I haven't seen the
I can
mesh
understand that.
yet.
I'm
But-
calling it
you
right
know what
now.
I'm It's like when
beautiful.
I remember when I first heard Allen Iverson was going to go play with
Yeah, you're shooting
Carmelo.
on no rim.
I was like, ah!
Yeah.
AI and Melo?
You're being disrespectful.
But then
know
when
what you
I
mean.
saw it wasn't what I because AI was my favorite player.
But
back
the
then.
difference is
But-
KD and Kyrie are champions.
But it's also is how
I know
is
what you
it
mean.
gonna
Though. I know what
mesh?
you mean.
How is it?
I know what you mean.
I already see KD and I already see LeBron and AD. I can't just promote KD
See,
and
this
Kyrie
is why I'm a different breed.
without.
I
seeing.
call it before it
I'm
happens.
calling
It's
it
true
right
talk.
now.
Because true talk.
It's
Y'all
gonna
are gonna listen.
it's
People
gonna
don't
be
understand
beautiful. It's
what
gonna be
KD and
beautiful.
Kyrie. Y'all don't understand that. Like, it's not just the fact that they're elite individually. They've been before the Kawhi finals and this last finals. They've been the last 3 finals.
The clutch
They've got the
game
clutch bucket,
Clutch.
game winner, all of the big
KD
impactful
has 2
moments.
and Kyrie
It's
has
been
1.
Kyrie, then KD, then KD, right?
Yeah.
So now they're combining together. One thing you got to know about KD that people don't understand: KD and Kyrie. This is why they mesh. Is because Kyrie thinks about master my craft. He's just, he's what is it? What is those on? A deep thinker, intellectual
Woke.
type of guy. He's a
He's
woke
woke,
guy.
man.
So he doesn't just look at the game as just like. That's why he has so much ability. He's a deep thinker, so master my craft. KD is gonna challenge this man to even a different aspect because KD also, he doesn't just profess it, but he lives in the gym. If anything you know about KD, live in the gym. I play ball with anybody. I go to Rucker Park. It don't matter. I just play
I'm
ball
not even-
all day, every day. Not only that, I challenge myself to be efficient. I've been shooting 50% plus or better for the last 8 seasons. Last 8 seasons with jump shots. So you understand, KD's gonna, that's why KD's even telling this guy on live, we don't want our point guard to do more than 2 post-ups. And anything's gonna be 2.5. I pass it to you 2 times. The half, you pass it back. You know, she's
And
telling him,
people
I'm gonna
forget
challenge you
that
to be
KD
efficient.
Too, like, I hear people going with the Eagles. I'm like, you have to remember, KD went to Warriors and had to play a different.
Exactly. So he's gone through
all
different ways.
Find a way.
I'm saying KD, even their dynamics, the way they talk, even when I'm hearing them on the podcast, it's like I had the best of you that one day. No, but I had the best of you that one day. Like the way they challenge each other, it's like KD's gonna be like, yo, I was 8 for 11 this game. You were what? You were 8 for 13. You suss it. Like that's how they're gonna. That's how they're gonna. It's on a friendship, but it's like we're so elite. You have to beat this competition.
But watch this. I do not think that KD and Kyrie is going to equal KD and Steph. I do not think so. Because that mesh between KD and Steph, the reason why it was so elite is because neither one of them needed the ball, and either one of them could eat with the ball. Right? KD and
I agree with you, sir.
KD and Kyrie. KD and Kyrie is gonna be a different. It's not that it's not gonna be great. It's not that it's not gonna be great, but it's not going to be the same. Just like.
But you're not getting no game. You're not getting no game in the finals with Kyrie having 10 points. You're not getting that
ever.
Because Steph is forced to ISO and
relax. He had a 1-2 bad game.
It's not 1-2.
It's not like
he doesn't have a Finals MVP.
But he should have.
I know.
He should have. Don't do that. Don't do that. That should have never been
Steph is my guy. He should have the Finals MVP. But I'm saying this is from you outside looking in. You're gonna look at a guy who has no Finals MVP, so he's equivalent.
Word to Max Kellerman. I want Iguodala.
Don't do that.
He's equivalent to Kyrie in a situation. When I have Bron, I didn't win Finals MVP. Steph, I had KD, I didn't win Finals MVP. So now you can compare. Steph is more equivalent to Kyrie than people think. It's just Kyrie hasn't been on his own team to get the 30 points. He's always been.
The last time I checked, Kyrie did not change the NBA. The last time I checked, Steph Curry changed the entire league forever.
Kyrie this year,
every kid is trying to do layup packages like Uncle Drew. What are you talking about? They cheat the game.
So you're gonna tell me?
Yeah, make it stop.
Don't tease me.
At the end of the day, all as I know is that KD with an Achilles injury doesn't have to get the game win every time. Just chill in the corner. I got you. A 1-3 pick and roll with me and Kyrie and KD.
I'm saying it's gonna be great.
Steph was in the corner holding his shorts. Screaming when KD got the game winner. Yeah. He's only holding his shorts and throwing his mouth guard. I don't want to hear. You go to the corner and chill by Clay and relocate. This is for Don's here.
Listen,
KD.
So act like the man did not win a ring without KD. Don't do that. Don't act like he didn't do it as himself being the head honcho, Pharaoh Moncho, the big poncho on the team, bro.
But what happened? Kyrie blocked him for the game winner, and then Kyrie was injured.
No matter.
Kyrie was injured, and he won the series. And then when Kyrie came back, who did what? Steph was on how many highlights of his ankle getting torn? I thought he had an injury.
Guess what? Steph not only does Steph have 2 MVPs, not only does Steph have 1 unanimous MVP, but guess what? Steph has a ring being the guy on his team.
No, he does not.
Kyrie does not have no ring being the guy on his team. That is case point closed.
I'd rather not be the guy on my team and not have a ring at all than to win a ring, being the guy on my team and not get Finals MVP. You weren't the guy. The game changed when Eagle got inserted into the starting lineup.
It don't matter.
It don't matter.
You were an important.
People roast Kobe for no Finals MVP. People roast Kobe. They say Shaq carried you because of no Finals MVP. So Steph's not to not have Finals MVP and Iguodala carried you. I can say that.
Steph did not.
Come on.
See? Are you gonna tell me that Iguodala was Shaq?
Huh?
So Iguodala was Shaq.
That's even worse. You don't even have a Shaq, and yet you didn't
because you know the media sometimes it just they do things
you were
that
losing.
Doesn't make sense.
No, because they were down 2-1 with Steph doing what he's doing. When Iguodala got inserted into the starting lineup and they played small ball, we won 3 straight games. That's what happened.
But it doesn't matter because guess what?
Someone has to score points.
Okay, so who is it? First of all, we're gonna dead this whole argument. MVP. All right, so who do you think was the MVP? Because you said it's True Tax. Because True Tax, right? So say the truth. Who was actually the MVP on that team?
Steph should have been MVP, but the that you
Is the
didn't
conversation
get it.
not
No. But the fact that you didn't get it, and then you're the next year, you're in the same situation again to prove yourself, and you actually are getting cooked by Kyrie, and the guy who wasn't there now scored on your beam and won the series. You just erased the previous year where I'm thinking, oh, they just capped. Now the next year in the same situation, Draymond's yelling, saying, I have a triple-double in Game 7. Where are you? You throwing out of bounds in the corner?
Well, if Iguodala was really the MVP, then he should have stepped up that time, and he should have been the one to carry them to the promised land. But he's not Moses. He's Aaron.
At the end of the day,
Wrap it up.
at the end of the
Wrap it
day,
up.
at the end of the day,
Don't
at the
do
end
that,
of the day,
man.
Kyrie is not Finals MVP. Steph isn't Finals MVP. You know what I'm saying? Which
And
was
neither is Kyrie.
rightfully So exactly, but
And Steph is MVP.
Kyrie is
Kyrie is not.
But Kyrie has this on your beam for the game.
It don't
Kyrie has
matter.
one of those two.
On who's beam in the
On
finals?
Curry's beam, on Kyrie's beam.
In the finals?
Yes.
Yo, what? Show me the footage. What are you talking about?
On
For the
YouTube.
game?
No,
For the
not,
game?
maybe not for the game, but it's still the same.
What are you talking
It
about?
was
So
the
don't
same.
let me bring 15
It was
plays
the same.
where Steph was out of bounds and he's at 3-point line
It was the
and he's
same.
getting crossed out of
About the
bounds.
same.
You actually went to go ask for a sub.
Has he-
got crossed out the screen.
has
out the
he-
frame.
has he-
He's not even in the frame.
Has he pulled
You
up
can't be
Curry's
serious
head
right now.
bucket?
Dog.
I jumped chest bump with
hating,
Iguodala.
This is how bad it is. This is how bad it is.
People are
This is how
hating.
bad it is. Kyrie guarded Steph
That's
and actually locked up Steph. Kyrie cooked Steph. They put Clay on him. He cooked Clay. They put Dre on him. He cooked Dre. They put Eagle on him. He cooked them all.
It don't
And
matter.
the last play, they actually ran a switch to put Steph on. So
So
not only
how-
are you sussing offensively, you're a liability on defense that we're going to run for the last play. Not to go to LeBron, who's supposedly the GOAT. We're going to run a screen play for you to be on me to now do a step back shot on your beam.
It don't matter.
You are the reason you
And it still doesn't matter because guess what? Neither of them have finals MVP. Neither of them. But one man
That's true.
brought them to the promised land as the man on the squad. Kyrie never did it.
See, that point I can't argue. But at the end of the day, we're talking about duo. We're not talking about on-one. We're talking about duo. So Kyrie and a duo.
We all know one of them should have a finals MVP.
Yeah, the Steph got sus for that.
One of them should
The man
have one.
averages 20 points. You want to give it to a role player.
man, this
Metal
man
role
dropped
piece impacted the
27
game too. You don't get no finals MVP. Like, what we
Della,
talking about?
but
Anyways, so yeah, we already know. We appreciate y'all for coming in. You already know. Share, like, and subscribe. We try
Share,
to,
like,
you know,
and
we try
subscribe,
to
y'all.
have a impactful, redeem, come back, to this pod, and especially the season coming back. You already know the season starts tonight.
Who's playing?
Your first game is the Nets and the Warriors. So KD's facing his old
Just the
team. You know what I'm
conversation
saying?
that was
And
talking
Kyrie's gonna
about.
cook Curry
We're-
again.
we'll
You're
see.
gonna watch.
imagine.
You're gonna watch
I can
Kyrie.
smell
all
what
of a sudden,
Curry is cooking.
The next game,
Watch.
Curry's gonna be out, ankle contusion. That's
Curry's
what's gonna
cute.
happen. Why? Because
Curry's
Kyrie's gonna.
cute.
But even the most iconic
That
move,
nigga
even
gets bare
when I go to the
ankle
Celtics,
Warriors are
I
winning.
do the move that KD
That's
taught. I do
another
the half spin.
Warriors are
On
winning.
Curry's being again. Like,
That's
like,
Warriors are winning that game.
Curry stays very
Curry's
injured. That's
too.
another thing.
Curry's
Little
cute.
injuries here and there.
He does. He actually gets
sprinkling
buried.
throughout the season.
A lot of it is
Injuries.
unforeseeable. You actually get sucked
It's
all the
actually
time.
atrocious.
But he does.
It's actually
Him and
atrocious.
Kyrie too. That's what I'm saying. That's why I'm telling people they're more equivalent than you think. The only difference is Curry shoots from deep, OD, and like hella deep.
The only
Like,
difference
yeah.
is that Curry changed the entire league and Kyrie did not.
Oh my
They
God.
That is the difference.
Alright, man.
The
Alright,
difference
man.
is that Curry is a unanimous MVP.
Alright.
That is the difference.
They
The
both
difference is
play
that
hard
Curry
to
is a man on his team. That is the difference. He is not him.
They both can't guard
With a
each
man
other.
on his team called KD.
It don't matter. He added the man. And guess what? Kyrie added the same man.
No.
Kyrie added the same
No,
man.
he went with him. He said, "Where are you going? Let's go. I'll go. I'm a free agent too." Hey, Curry was on the team. He's like, "Come here,
Whatever,
we
man.
need you. We need you.
Tomato,
We need you."
tomato,
In fact, he didn't even do that. In
potato,
fact, he didn't even do that.
potato.
In fact, he didn't even do that. It was Draymond that bodied him. The guy who you said is not an impactful player. Draymond said, "I have a triple-double. What are y'all doing?" I'm calling KD. Curry, come. This is not your team. It's mine. It's mine. I say KD comes here. He comes here.
And his humility.
No, it's
Oh,
body.
now you want to
It's
the
body.
humility
It's
of a
body.
man.
Now you
The
It's
want
body.
humility of a man to
It's
be able
body.
to say, I can
No.
let you come onto my team.
He's like, no, he's not. Riley
I
be
can let
bodying
you
me all
come
the time.
onto my
Riley
legendary
be bodying
team.
me all the time. Finally, you know what I mean? Riley be bodying me all the time. You know what I
My
mean?
team
She's
got
a
won
Don.
more
She's
games
a Don.
in the regular season than any other teams in the history of the NBA.
With no ring.
I can let you come to my
With no
team.
ring. With no ring.
And I can humble myself
No. That's
and allow you to
That's-
thrive.
That's straight cap. Fitted cap.
All right.
Throwback cap. New era cap.
No, that's a snapback. Because we snapped it back.
anyways,
I slapped the back of
the Lakers and the Clippers are also in the nightcap game, so you know I'm most likely doing a breakdown. Two good games. I'll probably both of them. It's 2 games. Opening night, Lakers will get the banner, and the Clippers have to watch it. Montrez is looking at the side like, oh my goodness,
That nigga's
and then Kawhi looked at him as a robot, so you already know what's gonna happen. So
And the Clippers are fucking.
Hell no! Get that shit out of here. I've never seen. That's how you know he's cheese. You don't say nothing. Hell no! You don't shoot that shit.
All I can say is,
but we'll see.
We'll see.
All right.
We'll see how it goes. Anyways, you already know. You already know what time it is. Let me put the 1-2 on. Let me put the 1-2 on.
It's true. It's true.
Since they didn't, fully hear at the beginning,
It's
what I mean?
Capatoca.
You gonna hear it now. You gonna hear it now. Nah.
They hear you say
Can't
that
hear
it's true.
anything.
All they hear is let the
true talks. It's true talks. All right, let's get straight right into it.
You already know we finished that, but you already know I appreciate y'all. Share, like, and subscribe. You already know we out here. There's no doubt here. There's no drought here. You already know everybody's here. Appreciate y'all. Again, click the like button, click the share. You know what I mean? Click the subscribe button as well. And, we'll be doing more videos as well. Comment the topics you want us to talk about moving forward. And, your thoughts and everything. You already know. We out here. There's no doubt here. And there's no drought here. And we out.
Yeah.